What's goody, everybody? It's your boys, Kane and TJ, back on the 2 Kill Time Podcast, TKT Podcast, your favorite podcast on all podcast streaming platforms, especially Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. We are here this week. We are 1 week postpartum of Riley being on the podcast, and we now have his wife, my sister, Hillary Wilder, Big Hilly. Welcome to the podcast. How we doing? How we feeling?
Doing good.
Fucking cheers in the background. The crowd goes absolutely fucking berserk.
Yeah.
It's probably been because what you were on, I think you were on, and then it was someone else, and then we had Shauna, or then we had Riley, then we had Shauna. The last time you
I
were
don't
on,
remember the order.
it's been somewhere in that gap. So just over 3 years, and TJ actually let us know. So he let me know the other day. I don't think we'll have another episode before. Actually, we will. We'll have one more episode.
Will, yeah.
Because next Monday is the 24th. This releases on the 17th. The 24th is the 4th anniversary of this podcast, which is crazy to fucking think about. So you're here for the podcast anniversary eve, if you will. Recording.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so go ahead and introduce yourself. It's been a little while. Maybe, something different about you, whatever you got going on, who you are, what you're about.
Kane's older sister, one of them.
Yep.
That's about it.
Cool.
Since the last time I was on here, I got married and just living life.
Been a lot of things.
You're only Kane's older sister.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Goated little brother lore right there.
Yeah, status lore there. It's crazy to think that it's already been 3 years or going on 4 years for this podcast, 3 years since you've been on. Just in like the grand scheme of things, how much has probably changed, not just in mine and TJ's lives, but obviously your life has really changed since, moving to Vermont, moving back here, moving back to New York, whatever. Looking back on your life, would you say this is where you thought you'd be just right now? Like in the last 3 years, did you think you were still going to be in New York? Yeah. Unprompted question, obviously. This isn't anything we talk about. You think this is where you would be?
Yeah.
Okay. What about in 3 years? Where do you think you're going to be? You think you're going to be there?
One could hope not.
Damn. Okay. Just one could hope not.
Yep. One could hope
not.
Fair enough. Hopefully we're further in life than we are today. Well, let's get right into the questions. I always like to kind of just pose an unposed question before we get into the actual segments of the podcast today. But what is one of your earliest memories of us being siblings? Obviously, we've known each other, I've been here for my whole life, but I've only been through your life, through a portion of it. What's your earliest memory of us as siblings?
I honestly don't have a specific memory.
Okay.
The only thing I ever come back to is, all the holidays that we shared together.
Yeah.
And always being outside.
Yeah.
No matter what we were doing. Whether it was here, whether it was at mom and dad's house.
Yeah.
Those memories are just always there.
The earliest memory I have of us, and I don't remember whatever the scenario was, but it was me, you, Cody Smith, like our cousin. I want to say Shauna, maybe Dan Fry. We were all outside in the front yard. And we were doing something, and we ended up like running into each other. Like me and you ran into each other, and we obviously both went down. Like
yes, I remember this. Like, not sure what we were doing.
Yeah, I can't for the life of me like actually remember what was happening, but it was like holy fuck, like wind taken out of me. I thought I was dead. And then the other memory I have is when you were outside throwing the baseball or softball at the time, and you came in, you busted your fucking lip. That's like the first two things that come to mind from our childhood. And like when I look back on our childhood, obviously, think positive of our time as kids. And I think the reason why we don't really have a lot of memories of us as kids or like remember like a first memory or whatever is because we have an age gap that's larger than most siblings. How do you think that affected our relationship?
I wouldn't say it affected it in a bad way necessarily.
Yeah.
I think we just grew up at two totally different times. I mean, obviously we're only 5 years apart, but 5 years is a huge age gap to me.
Five years is very big for, in
That's
my
a lot.
opinion, kids. Like, I mean, you got to think like it wasn't just 5 years of like life, in my opinion. Uh, it's
Right.
really 6 years of life because I mean, you graduated high school. I went into seventh grade because I had to
I
stay
was,
back because of my birthday.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
and
when you're
that's where
like 1,
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal, but like 10 and 15, like
yeah,
that's two
yeah.
different worlds, man.
So like looking at that question, I go back and I'm like, I graduated high school and he was graduating elementary.
yeah. Like I
Like
literally
that's
graduated
a
sixth
huge
grade.
difference. Like,
Yeah,
It's
I was
wild. Yeah.
starting my like a certain chapter of my life and you were just like, I
I
don't
was
know.
still getting going. Like, I don't want
Yeah,
to.
like
I think what you said definitively is correct. Like you were starting a new chapter. Mine was just like I was just going through school. Like there's not a difference, especially at Mayfield, from sixth to seventh grade. Like yeah, you have a locker system,
no,
whatever the
no,
fuck, but like
right,
looking back, it wasn't a new chapter in my life. The sixth grade graduation was
right.
like yeah, hoorah, but it was just a
That
new
shit
building
blew
a
my
mile.
mind,
Yeah,
by the way, when I
what?
went there. The like 12th through fucking
Yeah,
5th grade or whatever the fuck it is, dude.
yeah.
Blew my mind.
Well, there's schools down
Cause
here that are that small that are quite literally kindergarten through 12. Like there's small towns in Middle Tennessee that
Isn't
are
that Northville?
wild.
I think
Isn't
Northville
it
is
Northville?
K through
They go
12,
to K?
but it's yeah, but it's
Wow.
separate wings. Like
Yeah,
it's not like
They're
that.
not walking the halls together.
No. But like that's
I don't think
why I mean
so.
look at Wells. I think the Wells high school when I was graduating high school was 12 kids, like was the graduating class. So like you're
Yeah, it
fucking
wasn't many.
you don't just know everyone. You know like your fucking friends, aunts and uncles because they all went to school together. Cuz I mean
Yeah.
why
Absolutely.
I don't know. Wells is a very nice area. There's not really much up there, but I assume if your parents live there, your grandparents probably live there. There's not a reason to move there. Um but I think what you said was really important. It was different chapters in your life. Um, and looking back, I agree. It didn't negatively impact us in a way, like for our relationship. Didn't like,
Mhm.
oh, I hate you, whatever. It was more of, like you said, it just, you were beginning a new chapter while I was still trying to grow up. Like, I mean, I was what, 12, 10, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's just, obviously we see the world differently, I think because of that.
Yeah.
Like, even though we grew up in the same household, our
Like, you
parents raised
remember
us
9/11, I
differently.
don't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's great. What was that
Yeah.
experience like? In high school, like in
I
elementary.
remember
Because
it.
what
I was in
you were like fourth,
I
fifth
was in
grade then.
fourth grade.
We
Fourth
somehow
grade.
always talk about 9/11.
I know. That's why I started laughing. I was like, "What is this? The third pod in a row, dude? They're gonna get suspicious."
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was in gym class and when it all
Really?
went down, they like quietly walked us back to the classroom and made us sit on the carpet and like just said
Bush was at
something
your
was going
school.
on in the world. It no.
They didn't have it on
And
like the TVs and shit.
wait, yeah, so then they brought in the TVs, on the cart and put it on the TV. Fourth grade. Like
Dude, like
you don't
I
know what
think
you're
of
Just
that
watching.
every time
news,
I hear
like
that story.
news.
Yeah.
News.
Like you're
All day
watching the
news. We
fucking
sat on the carpet.
tower on fire and
Hmm.
Just all day.
Yes.
I
Nothing
just like
like
can't imagine that. Like today that happening, them being like, hey, you fucking 8-year-old, you're gonna watch this the rest of the day. You're gonna watch
Yeah.
2,100 people die right now.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
fucking
We sat
insane,
there on the
man.
carpet, watched it.
I wonder, was it across America or was it because we live in New York?
No, I bet it was across,
I don't
man.
know.
I can't. I
I do
mean,
wonder that.
probably other than like Iowa or some
Because
shit
my
where they
God,
don't have
we'll
like
never
internet.
fucking
I think
forget.
honestly, I think we had early dismissal too.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
I
that
mean,
makes
I
sense.
I literally wasn't in school because my birthday was a year off.
Right.
So,
I wasn't born.
yeah, young
Yeah.
whippersnapper over here. But
My mom found out I was a boy on 9/11. Fun fact.
that's crazy work. Reincarnated.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, she
Um,
has the ultrasound picture
that's
somewhere.
fucking
It
wild.
was
Dated
crazy to
9/11.
look at. Yeah, at like
Damn.
8:45 in the morning, dude.
Damn. Okay, so she was in the office.
No,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
was
that's
there when it
fucking
happened.
wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Anywho,
but yeah, like talking to Riley and stuff, that was one thing that we had spoke about was the age gap between us definitely didn't help the relationship in terms of like, bonding, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it hurt it at all. I think if anything it helped just because like you said, different portions of life. It's always been like not necessarily an advice thing, but we've always been able to go to each other for different perspectives because it's
Right.
such a different worldview on different things despite like having the same parents. And I mean we lived together most of my life. I don't remember exactly when you like moved out or anything, but I mean
I
we
was like
lived
20 or 21.
that's what I mean,
So
like we lived together like most still for the large portion of my life that I've currently lived, we lived in under the same roof. But for me,
yeah.
like our family always felt large as a kid. Um which definitely doesn't feel like the case now. Anybody want to put in a response there?
I thought you were gonna keep going. I didn't know
No,
that was it.
just a
Yeah, I
statement.
didn't realize you were talking.
Yeah,
Um, I always felt like it wasn't obviously we had a big family. Um, if it like branched out past our house, yes, we had
yeah,
a huge family. But for me, it just always felt whole. Like we always had our grandparents, we always had our
yeah,
closest aunts and uncles, like and that's something that I cherish, like being able to grow up with our grandparents the way we did.
yeah. I
Um,
I agree.
even now, like we have Graham and
Yeah,
it's just something that you cherish.
yeah. It's really tough. Like I said, I mean, growing up and never even looking at it as a kid, I never thought we had a big family because you look at like dad's side of the family wasn't
Mhm.
vast. It wasn't like this huge like Haley's family's massive. Her dad and her mom's side like
Right,
have cousins on cousins. So
right.
um looking at it from that perspective, even now, like, yes, obviously we still have those family members, but we were never that close with a lot of mom's side of the family. Not that like they loved us any less or we loved them any less, but like we only saw them, say, for instance, on holidays or birthdays or certain things like that. Whereas, like Nana Pa, we saw every weekend. We saw Grandma Dave every weekend. We saw,
Right.
Aunt Michelle and Aunt Jen all the time. We saw Uncle Sean and Aunt Rhonda, like every once in a while outside of holidays. So, I was just interested to hear, like, kind of your thoughts on that. Obviously, a lot of things have been going on over the last few years with, Nana and Pa passing away, and now Grandpa and Grandpa Dave when we were younger. Things have changed drastically. They say, when that one grandparent passes away, the glue of the family kind of dissipates and they all kind of separate. I was interested to hear your kind of thoughts on that.
I absolutely believe in that. Especially like even when Grandpa Dave passed away, like things
Yeah.
changed. Um,
That for me,
and
like
obviously
growing
like
up was like the first sign of like, oh, okay. So like he was really like one of the first deaths that really hurt. Like
me
not
too.
that previous ones didn't or anything, but it was the first one that I was old enough to understand like, okay, yeah, things are going to change now. Like,
Mhm.
um, it really showed me as a kid that is how families react when people die. They really do separate.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I would also say like when Nana passed away, like it was hard.
Yeah.
Um, still is.
Hmm.
Obviously wasn't super close to Uncle Sean and Aunt Cindy, but you still had that, I don't want to say go to, but you still knew they were there in your circle. Um, and then when everything went down, it was like I don't understand still to this day how do you turn on your family the way you do.
Yeah.
And obviously nobody was perfect in the situation.
No.
Um, I have my thoughts on all of that as well. But I mean, I've talked to Aunt Cindy. I text her once in a while. She texts me like,
Yeah.
"How are you doing?" And that's fine. Um, yeah, it's crazy to me, and I'll never understand why families are the way they are when those types of things happen.
Yeah. And I kind of touched base on this last week with Riley too. Like I'm a firm believer in like my family's my family. And me and Haley were actually talking about this Friday night. Granted, we were both, dabbled in the sauce a little bit, but we were just talking about some things, just life and whatever. But we're firm believers that like Haley's my family. When we have kids, that's our family. Our family comes first. Yes, you know, that doesn't change my respect for you or Riley or mom and dad or whatever happens there. Like, we're not any less close, but if it comes down to like me and Haley, like I have to find us the right way first, especially after marriage. Like that's the whole point. And
Mhm.
maybe that viewpoint's wrong, but that's just how I feel about
It's
things.
not. It's not wrong at all.
So like being in Tennessee when all that happened with like Nana, or even like recently with Grandpa, and everything that's changed between like mom and her sisters and dad and his siblings, having an outside perspective was really hard because not obviously being home for a lot of stuff with the passing of our grandparents, but um like seeing how everybody reacted was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, you know what I mean? And I know everybody, I'm sure everybody in that situation feels the same way about everybody else in that situation. But being
Mhm.
away from it, it was all like, what are we doing? Like, not just me, not just, for instance, Uncle Sean or you or dad or Aunt Cindy. Like, it was like, what are we doing? Like, why are we acting like this? And don't get me wrong, like there's money involved, there's a house involved, there's land involved, and TJ's not in his head because he's gonna sure chime in here, but it's not like this was fucking generational. Like we're getting 50 million fucking dollars. Like this is doing the right thing by the right people, especially like in Nana's case. And I brought this up to Haley. Like there were conversations about all of us kids getting money. Instead, we chose to put that aside for certain instances that may happen. And then those instances happen, but nothing ever came of what happened with all of this money we were promised or whatever. And again, not life-changing money, not generational money. I could give two fucks less whether it hit my pocket or not. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm on about.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that's what made no sense to me. Like this isn't going to be a greedy thing. You know what I mean? We're not all going to just be millionaires because of certain things. And that doesn't change the fact that it's still fucked whatever happened. If there was money involved, it'd still be fucked. You know what I mean? But we're acting this way from fucking Fulton County, man. Like pinching for
Mhm.
every fucking dime for no reason. And I don't know the whole story. I don't know every side. I could care two fucks less, But family's family. That's just the way I look at it. Is we're to take care of family no matter what. Like whether it be me and Haley, or you and Dad, or Aunt Cindy, or Uncle Sean. It like that doesn't matter to me. Family's family. Like no matter what, you have to stand by them. And if they do some fucked up shit, they need to own it. And if they don't, then that's on them. They have to live with that for the rest of their life. But TJ,
Right.
what do you have to go off of all that with being said?
Nah,
Obviously,
just
you've
because
went
I
through the
mean,
similar situation.
obviously, I don't know any of the, but I can kind of read between the
Yeah,
lines,
the
if you
lore.
will. Yeah, yeah. So like, I kind of get that because kind of dealing with a similar situation myself with my mother and grandmother and all that shit.
Yeah.
So nah, I definitely get it. People turn crazy over 2 grand.
Yeah. It's just like,
They think it's fucking like, so no, I don't understand why it turns into a whole family splitting event
yeah, because
And
it's
it's
like
when
like,
it's
will
it
one.
you
doesn't need to
ever?
be.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you don't stand up for it, it's like, because obviously that's what that person wanted with a will or whatever. Like this person wanted certain things to go somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
I've never personally seen any of my passing family members' wills. I've never been told certain things that were in them to a certain extent. Like, but whatever that person's wishes are, whether it be cremation or assets going somewhere, that's what it needs to fucking be. Like, I'm not going to stick my neck out and be like, hey, I'm owed X amount of money because it's in the will. If that's what they wanted, awesome, thank you. But I'm never going to be like, hey, where's my fucking money? Because, like,
Problem
no
is,
matter what you do, you're in the wrong in that situation, right?
some people don't have a will, and then it's fucked. Then
Yeah.
now everyone's trying to figure shit out through lawyers and
Yeah.
this and that, and it's a whole fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So if there's a will, great. That makes that shit smooth as hell because they have final say. But
Yeah.
if not, yeah, it turns into a whole thing.
Hill, you looked like you wanted to say something there.
Yeah.
Looked
Like
like you were.
Nana and Pa
Looks
didn't
like you were
have a
biting your
will.
tongue.
So that's where like the issue lied. And
Yeah.
when certain people feel entitled to certain things, that's how they feel. And that's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, we all kind of sometimes feel entitled to certain things.
Yeah.
I think it's just in everybody's nature. But
I think. I think the thing that really just like gets me in that situation, because like, I mean, I don't ever think about it. I don't ever talk about it. It doesn't like affect my daily life in terms of like I need to think of that. You know what I mean? If I do, I'm just gonna dig
Mhm.
myself a darker hole, right? Um,
Yep.
it's like you said, like certain people feel entitled. Like you have, and I didn't know Nana Pa at a younger age. I know them as my grandparents. They were always elderly in that aspect. Um, the people that they were like never gave anyone a reason to feel entitled to whatever they thought. In my opinion, again, I didn't know them
Well,
as like
That's a great
again
way to put
for
it.
for instance it may be different for dad or Uncle Sean or Aunt Cindy. That's their kid. Like yes, that's their parent. But like that's my
right.
grandmother, you know what I mean? So I only ever had them as a grandmother figure. I didn't have them as a
Mhm.
friend, as a mother. Like that wasn't my relationship with them. That
Right.
doesn't, I'm not saying like, oh, they were just my grandmother. Yes, we were very close, especially, Nana and Pa. They're very close with us pretty much through all our whole lives or their whole lives of
Mhm.
my portion of my life. And they never gave that impression of you should be entitled to anything that not necessarily was theirs, but they didn't
No.
have that attitude. So why is it like that, And
I don't
why should you
understand when
feel
someone
entitled?
passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where does the entitlement come from? Like, why all of a sudden now you're like, that should be mine? Or
Yeah.
this, whatever. Yeah, it
Right.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
But
Now, would you say, Hill, that you're who you thought you'd be at what are you 34 now? 33?
I'm 34.
put it on
Okay.
blast.
Yeah, thanks for
Out
that, but
loud.
that's okay. Um,
29.
Yeah.
yeah, always 29. Yes.
No, never,
29.
I
never
would
dated me.
say yes, as far as like my personality, my values really haven't changed.
No,
Um,
I would say the same
yeah,
thing. You haven't really changed much in terms of that. I agree.
yeah. Um, and I guess as far as like successful is all I've ever wanted to be, and I feel like I am. Go to work every day. I have a job. I have a husband. I have a house.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy for the most part.
Yeah.
So I would say I am who I thought I would always be.
Okay. You
Nice.
mentioned success, and this is actually a question I was going to ask later, but this is a great time to bring it up. We asked questions to Riley, and that was really, I would say, the whole underlying theme of the podcast last week with him was like being driven and what success
Mhm.
does for you and how that what you want to strive for. Just one similar question off that. He mentioned that success for him is living a life that you want to live, and what does a better life mean for you? What does living that life that you want to live look like in terms of success?
Um, I I would just say, living simple. It's something that I've always wanted, I guess you could say always dreamed of. Not worrying about the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Like, yes, things come up and, but you learn to just move with it.
Yeah, finding the unwind and the wound. It was a
Yeah,
bar.
Oh,
and
I like that.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah,
like
someone.
I'm yeah, I I mean, I'm not old by any means. I wouldn't consider myself old.
No.
But I feel like I'm just in that stage of my life where, like, not necessarily settled down, because obviously I'm settled down, but, like, winding down, like,
Yeah. This
you know.
this brings up kind of a good question. I saw this the other day because you're at the age for me that was like mom and dad when I was born. You know what I mean? Me and dad have
Right,
a 30-year
right.
age gap. I mentioned that last week. Like, does it ever feel like that? Do you ever find yourself realizing like, okay, I am where my parents were when I was a kid? Like, maybe they didn't have it all together. Maybe they were still figuring it out too. Like,
Mhm.
do you ever feel that way? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I do. Um, the biggest thing I also think about, and I actually had this conversation with a girl at work the other day. I'm so sick and tired of hearing, "Are you gonna have kids? Is something wrong? Why don't you have kids?"
Yeah.
And I sit and think, and it's like, yeah, people my age probably have, you know,
Fucking
10-year
18
olds,
kids. Yeah. For
8-year
some reason.
olds, 5 kids trotting along, and it's
Yeah.
like, no. I I've said since a very young age, I don't want kids. I had kids, great. If I don't, that's great too.
Yeah.
Um, and I always used to hear, "That's very selfish of you." Ah,
How is it? I don't understand that. I've
I
heard that
Wow.
narrative before
Yeah.
too. Like,
What?
because I don't
I
want
never
kids. Like,
put
how's that
those 2 and 2
selfish?
together. Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't make me
Because
selfish.
I don't want
You
to
know.
repopulate the world with like another offspring. Like, I don't,
I was gonna say
Exactly.
having kids that you can't afford or whatever to take care of, that seems
Or let
that's
selfish.
such like
alone,
a
like,
boomer attitude, like a
not wanting.
1950s. Yeah.
On God.
Yeah,
On
like,
God.
because it's the typical life that people wanna live is get married, have kids, and da da da. That's not me.
Yeah.
I Do I think about it? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody wants to have a kid.
Well, and that's what I
Everybody
mean.
wants.
I don't
Oh,
think you don't want to have kids. You don't want to
right,
have kids. Like, you love
right,
kids. I've seen you've had plenty of jobs working around kids. Like, it's not that you don't want kids, it's that you don't want kids. Like, you don't want,
right.
not necessarily the responsibility, you'd think that you'd be like a bad parent or something. Like, you just don't want that type of responsibility or like have that in your life. That's totally
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah, so, like, going back, like, I think, you know, like, okay, my parents at my age had 3 kids.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And for me to think about me having 3 kids, I'm like, no way."
Like, me and Haley obviously talk about it all the time. Like, we want kids. We're gonna try for kids, but it's such a weird thing to think. Like, again, I'm approaching that age where like mom and dad already had two kids. Like, I
Mhm.
was the third coming up in a year and a half. Like, Shauna's about to be born in my lifespan, right? Like, in the next month and a
Right.
half, like she is being born. So it's really hard to think like, granted, different
A
world,
funny
different
way to break it
economy.
down.
You know what I mean though? Like, different world,
No,
different
I get it.
economy.
Yeah.
All the rationale of like having a kid back then made a lot more sense than right now. And that's really
Right.
just like the toughest part is when me and Haley first not got serious, but like we're like, hey, okay, we've been together for a minute. Like, we're been together 2 3 years. We're about to graduate high school. What's the plan? What are we doing? And we said, okay, like this is what we want. We want to own a home. We want to have land. We want to be in a good area with good schools before we get pregnant and have kids. And obviously, things change and the way the world has slowed that down. And it's not that we aren't, you know, pushing to have kids at some point, but it is very hard to justify 3 4 kids in a world that we live in now.
Yeah, and
I
that's,
can't even
like, one.
imagine.
No. And that's one of my biggest things too is, like, the world is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
like, Anita and Aaron have 2 kids, and obviously we're very close with them.
Yeah.
And just watching them, the things they learn at school and, all these YouTube videos, and
Well, and
I
that's
I
the
told
other
Riley,
thing
I
too.
said,
Go ahead. Sorry.
"If we have kids, absolutely we're homeschooling them." And call it what it is, but my
Yeah.
kids would not go to public school.
Like Mayfield, I mean, granted, again, like just my point of view of it was a really good high school. We had a really good experience, both of us. And,
Yeah.
things are really different. And New York is a very different like way of schooling kids now. Um, but like that, the screen time issue, man, like
That's yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a phone
The
until I
kids
think
are
I was
not
in
content.
seventh and eighth grade. And like even growing up, I remember having like specific conversations in our backyard. Me, you, Dan Fry, Shauna, Cody Horowitz, all of them. Like me swearing, like, no, I don't want a phone. Like when I was a kid, why would I want a phone? What the fuck do I want a phone for? Like I'm out here as a kid. Like I don't
Mhm.
need it. Where do I go that I need to call anyone or text anyone? All of my friends are fucking right here already. Like I don't know. I remember having that attitude as a kid, and me and Haley have spoken about that multiple times. Um, like having a connected child, I guess is really the term. Is totally fine if that's how you want to raise your kids. That's fine. But like, I'm I don't want that. Like, yeah, I want my kid to experience like Call of Duty. I'm not saying like, oh, they can't play video games or like watch YouTube or anything, but like YouTube was vastly different when I was a kid. Like, I didn't play
Yeah.
online Call of Duty till I was like fucking 10. Like I wasn't playing that shit when I was like 4 or 5 years old, like most kids.
No.
Like,
Right.
I mean, fuck, look at Roblox and like the shit. Chris Hansen just did a thing on like human trafficking with Roblox. Like it's a
That was wild.
yeah, like it's this crazy world that we live in that anyone can occupy any space of the internet at any given time. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's really
Right.
tough. Like I said, that connected screen time is a very difficult question for
Yeah.
a lot of
My
people.
kid
And
my
go
kid
ahead.
would be the weirdo that doesn't have a phone till 12 or something
Yeah, there's
cuz
like
Why?
freaking 6-year-olds
What
walking around
what
with iPhones. Why?
what do they
crazy.
if we're probably gonna get fucking flamed for that, but like my
Probably.
whole I feel like our generations are very similar in that aspect. Like mine and Haley's really close friend, her name's Kate, she has two young kids. They're pretty connected. Like they don't have phones or anything. Granted, they're only like 5 or 6. But like they have tablets, they like watch YouTube and like she's very like into what they watch. They're not like watching anything fucked, you know what I mean? To
Right.
Yeah.
my knowledge, like she's never been like, "Oh, guess what I caught them watching," or whatever. So, knock on wood, they haven't experienced that, but like they're very connected kids. What does a 5 to 10 year old have to talk to their friends about all the fucking time?
I
Nothing.
mean, I don't
Like
even know. I don't even
I
know.
can't imagine being in fucking 5th or 6th grade, having a phone. Like, and granted, again, grew up in a small town. We could ride our bikes to all our friends' houses if we wanted to. Like, our parents all knew every other parent, so you could hang out with whoever the fuck you wanted. The parents would communicate if they had to. We were in sports, so it made it easy to make friends or make plans for after practices or whatever. So I understand the difference there. I can't imagine being in 4th, 5th grade having a phone and just texting my friend all day long.
I didn't have a phone till 10th grade.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like that's
And
the
it was a
conversation I remember
track phone
having.
that was this big
Yes, I remember
and had to
having that
pull the antenna
conversation.
up to call.
Like
The
I
antenna.
it was it was literally when before the back wall was built on the hill. It was I was standing on top of the hill. You and Dan Fry were down below. Dan Fry just got one of those new little like little phones like this that slid up a little bit. Like the real tiny ones. I can't
Had
remember
the
what brand
buttons
it
at the
was.
bottom.
Yeah, but like real tiny. It was like thin. It still had like you had to press each button 3 times to do it, but it was like this big deal. And Shauna was saying something about wanting a phone, and you were like, I didn't get a fucking phone till 10th grade or whatever. And it was that conversation where I was like, what the fuck do you need a phone for? Like, we're 8 years old. I don't want a phone. And
Yeah.
Dan was like, you're gonna want a phone someday. And I was like, yeah. But like I'm fucking 8 years old, man. Like what does she need a phone for? Who's she gonna
Yeah,
call?
what?
Right.
We again,
Yeah.
we're in sports and did all those type of things, and this is a tangent that I don't think any of us plan on talking about today. But there's a vast difference in homeschooling a kid nowadays compared to homeschooling a kid when we were young.
Yep.
I
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine putting a kid through that. And going back towards the family stuff outside of kids being connected and whatnot, I've stated numerous times that I've never really had a close relationship or had the closest relationship with our family. especially since moving away in 2020. Part of that, in my opinion, is interests and whatnot that have never really aligned with our family at times and what I'm interested in or like the goals that I have in mind. When you hear me speak on that, because again, I've talked about it a lot, especially recently on the podcast. How does that make you feel, and what's your stance on that?
Obviously, it's upsetting to hear,
Yeah,
but it's not a negative. It's not anything negative. Um, we all have very different views in life. We all have very different interests. I When I read this question, my first thought was I couldn't really tell you maybe even one similarity that me, you, or Shauna have.
yeah. I mean, I say that all the time.
And
Like,
that's
we don't
okay.
have
It's
common interests.
okay.
Yeah,
It really is. I don't view it as a bad thing. Maybe mom and dad do. I don't know.
yeah,
But I don't I don't know. I don't like I said, I don't look at it as a negative, impact on any of our lives. We are who we are, and
yeah,
to me that's more than, "Oh my god, those 3 are doing that again," or, you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it also goes to that. Obviously, I think the age gap plays portion of that in the grand scheme of things, but it really is. It's so odd to me because I think if there's ever a like glimpse of people are really just their own person, it's us three. If you look at
Y
how all three of us were raised, I mean, granted, things change throughout the years, but compared to like your point of view or your hobby is vastly different. The things that I enjoy, like none of us have the same hobbies. Like none of us are into the same things. And you know, you could say we're all into the automotive world
I would
in
say
some aspects, but
I would say really now, like, thinking about it, I would say the only thing that the 3 of us really have in common is, like, cooking.
yeah, yeah. I
Th
mean, we
that would
all
be
just
it,
had
like
like again, for me, it was always like cars and stuff. We were always in that same world. Um,
yeah.
and like granted that was because who our parents are and like what dad's into and whatnot, but like it's if there was ever a group of people that distinctively you could put in the same scenario or put in a box of like a lab test of every person is their own person, I think it's us three kids. And I know it's not like the
Love that.
easiest thing to hear that like, oh, we're all different, or I've never had the closest relationship with my family. But to me, that's why I love my family so much, is we're all different people and we're able to still have a relationship even though like we don't necessarily have the same viewpoint. I would say like morals ethically, like we all kind of align in a lot of ways, in that aspect.
Yeah,
But like there's political views that like Shauna has that we don't, or like that I have that you guys don't, things like that.
yeah. Um, like, going off of that too, I think a lot of it that upsets me the most is, I know I could call either one of you and just talk, like, no
Yeah.
opinion, you know, even even though we grew up, pretty much the same, I could call either one of you for advice,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna judge me, and I think, to me, like, that's a great thing about our relationships.
Yeah. I agree. I think
Um, Obviously, it sucks, and I talked to Riley about this before, like, I would love to just, get in the car and go to one of your houses and hang out
yeah, I
for a
mean
few
we
hours.
obviously live
That's
halfway
I
across the country.
always looked at
Yeah.
I always, looked at as having that type of relationship with my siblings,
Yeah.
but it's okay,
Yeah.
I think it just makes the time we do see each other
More
is that
important
much better.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And not
Mhm.
necessarily more important, but like you said, that much better. Um Moving across the country obviously wasn't easy, and it's a decision that like we decided to pave our own path in that way. But um
Yeah.
I think you're right, like, but that's why we also want to own a home back in New York, and be able to have like two options and go back home in the summer or whatever when it's 4 million degrees and or
Mm.
whatnot. So to me, like that's a goal that we always strive for and something that we've talked about a lot. in that world. Um, Going off of just family in general and like the relationships that we've had, because I've never had a close relationship with my family, friends have always meant to be family to me. And that's a statement that I would like a response from both of you guys on.
Could you
Okay.
run it back? I've been
Uh,
kind of lagging. That's why I've been
oh, you're
sorry.
good. I said friends to me have always meant family. Like I've always had friends that were closer to me than a lot of family members, and that's just a
Okay.
statement that I'd like a response from you guys on.
Okay. I heard it that time.
Okay.
No, I agree. I think there's a fine line though. Like it does take quite a bit for a friend to be seen as family, at least for
Yeah.
me anyways. Um, because like you can have friends come and go,
Yeah.
but it's the ones who are like consistently there, like through say y'all aren't talking, then all of a sudden something comes up and then you fucking randomly you can pick back up like nothing happened. I think those are the ones that you could definitely consider as family.
Yeah. What about you, Hill?
Yeah, so like I call them my people. Um Probably wouldn't have gotten through some of the hardest times of my life without them. But I also can say, like kind of off of what TJ said, um, like it takes a while for you to be comfortable around that. But taken, a 20-year friendship for me and we no longer speak anymore,
Yeah.
it's tough. You think that person is always, your person or in your little village,
Yeah.
and they're not. But yeah, I agree. Like I said, you know, Anita's been through all stages of my life with me, and
Yeah. I've
is
I've kind of
that's my
had
family.
a lot of those relationships in my life. I mean, you can kind of attest to it. Again, being I've been in your life, your my whole life, right? And
Mhm.
you've seen how many friends like in my life have come and gone, and who's always like been there. For instance, like
Yep,
there's people that have been in my life for a long time, like Bum and Trevor and Mario and all them, and they're still people who I consider really good friends, if not family. Um, they're the type of people like TJ mentioned. Like I could go years without talking to them, but when they
yep,
need advice, they'll reach out. If they ever want to have a conversation, they'll reach out, and I reach out to them, and it's an immediate pickup of that lifelong friendship. But then there's people
yep,
like, for instance, like, Brian Hancock, like that. It doesn't matter how much we talk, like, he'll always be a brother to me. Like, doesn't matter how many times he fucks up. Like, that's a guy that has, we've both been there for each other at, the worst points of our lives for a long time. So,
yeah,
um, I don't, I had this question in here of like, oh, do you guys think that's a bad thing? Obviously, we just answered that question, so I'm not going to ask it. But I think you guys both made the point of sometimes you have to look at things at a deeper level than just being considered family. Um,
yeah,
like a friend being considered family, but like again, most of the people I know down here that I consider family, they're like a second family to me. Like, I mean, you got Anthony Martine, Ryan, like these are people that Troy that 6 years ago I would have never known, would have never even thought of knowing these people, but because of how
right,
life works and the decisions we make, these are people that I know like would do anything for me that I would do the same. So it goes it goes a long way to say that do I think we'll be friends for the rest of my life? I'm sure something will happen along the lines. Like I got too many friends that I'm too close with, you know what I mean, that I talk to every day. So odds are, things are going to change,
Yeah.
but I mean, for instance, like look at JP. I don't know if you ever met JP Hill. I think so. It was either maybe it was just dad, but like really good friend of
I think it was
mine.
just sad.
He's a really good friend of mine. He's been to my house 100 times. He's someone that I would have considered a brother for a long time, and not that I don't now, but like he's just on a different path and he's trying to figure things out, so he becomes very distant. Um, so it's just one of those things that like you never know. We went from talking to each other every single day to now we barely talk every couple months. So and when you do talk, it feels almost like a forced conversation, like a guilty conversation, and I don't. That's not how I accept my friendships. Like, I don't need to
No,
talk to you every day to have that, you know, friendship, but I also don't need to be
right,
like, hey man, just touching base. Haven't heard from you in 6 months. Like, why am I always the one reaching out here? Like, what's going on?
right,
And it's the
right.
same story, like I've just been busy. And that's not necessarily the conversation I'm talking about with JP, but like that's something that like hurts me. I love him as a person, love him as a human being. He's one of the first people that I got close with down here, but things change. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I think you guys are both right. You need to kind of address those situations when they come up, and throwing away a 20-year friendship isn't easy. That's not something that anybody can just do.
No.
And it definitely takes the right circumstances to get to that point, regardless of what's happened or who you are as a person or who they are as a person. It took you a long time to get to that point. I don't know the circumstances. I'm not going to ask the circumstances. It's none of my business. We'll always have love for that person, as I'm sure you will too, but there's a line in the love. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
Risk goes a long way, and it's something that we kind of all understand, but
You're
will
dropping
never
you're dropping some
comprehend.
bars today.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
There's a line in the love? Like what? Little
Just
fucking
bars. Write it down. Put it in the journal.
yeah.
Risk is something that we all understand but will never comprehend. That's a statement that I want a response from both of you. Another bar.
Yeah, dude, you're on a fucking heater today.
Yeah, dude.
Can I get it one more time?
Risk is something we all understand but will never comprehend. Something that we all know but can't ever, like, it's not a tangible item. What's y'all's responses to that?
Not really sure how to respond per se, but I mean, you're right. Risk is always, a factor you got to mediate in your mind, but you can't ever control how big of a risk depending on, I guess, how large of one you're taking.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm pointing the conversation here is let's start kind of at a moot point. Would you guys call yourselves a risk taker in that aspect? Obviously, everybody take risks in their life, but would you call yourself a risk taker? Something you would say you could be known for?
I wouldn't.
Probably not.
Okay. Why?
Probably not
Why don't you
known
guys think?
for it.
Why don't you think you're a risk taker?
So, like for me, I hate the unknown.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
Yeah.
so so going off of, risk is something we all understand but will never comprehend. My statement to that is, risk is something you never know when you're going to have to take.
Right.
Um, and that's what makes it the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Did you listen to last week's podcast?
yeah.
This is it.
Why?
What you just said just hit that shit on
Yeah.
the TL. You really
Nailed
just made this shit
nailed
come
it.
full circle. Like we as humans, it's good to become comfortable with the uncertainty of life, right? Something that we talked about last week was red lights, green lights. There's certain things that happen in that aspect that
Mhm.
like you're never gonna know when it's coming, right? You could run into
Yep.
100 green lights on the way to work, but the minute you catch that last one, you're pissed, right? You didn't pay
Mhm.
attention to the other 99, but that one, that 100th light that you came to was red. Sometimes we need to force those in our lives. That's what I'm asking is like,
Yeah.
would you say you're a risk taker? Would you say that if you start getting too comfortable in your life, you're willing to take that jump and force a red light so that you could not necessarily get 99 more green lights, but you could push yourself to that next step of like, I'm not just catching green lights. I'm on the fucking interstate, baby. We're rolling after this.
I feel like if I had to, I would. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
And like if Riley came to me tomorrow and was like, sick of fucking living here,
Yeah.
we're leaving. It's like, do you have a choice? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
See, like that's how I
as much
am.
as I
Go ahead.
yeah, like as much as I love it here, it's like,
Okay. Like
I
I feel
obviously I gotta go.
Yeah, like I think Haley's the same way in that aspect. Like it, she, I weigh my options, but like once I set my mind, all right, we're fucking doing it. Like we're gonna make this work. We're moving halfway across the country. We're gonna do it. Like I would say I am a risk taker in that aspect because I'll do that.
Mhm.
And like again, I mentioned last week we're moving to this apartment here in the next month. We talked about it before the pod before TJ joined. That's
Yeah.
something that I feel like we weighed our options for like 2 weeks. Like, oh man, I don't know. Talked about it a lot, and I was
Mhm.
just like, we're doing it. We're doing it. Like we sat back. Haley said something, and I was like, well, yeah. When we move to the apartment, we're gonna have to do that. And she was like, oh, so we're doing it, and I said, yep. Like it just clicked in my head. Like we have to do it. Whether it works out or not, it's a red light we have to experience. We have to pack up this fucking house.
Yeah.
We have to move it. If we don't do it, we're going to regret it because if we don't save the money, we're never going to get the house. If we don't save the money, we're never going to fucking be able to get married. Like there's certain things that we're
Right.
doing right now that we've been rolling for 3 years nonstop. Like just green light after green light. Yeah, there's been some hiccups, some things that go wrong, but we've been rolling and we need a red light in order to get farther, to get to the interstate, to get to the fucking on ramp.
Yeah, and I think that's where, I'm at in life. And yes, it's taken me a while to get here, but I would say within like the last year, I need change.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't be great. The grass
No.
isn't always greener on the other side.
But
But
see, like I just in the last week I've said that same statement and I
It
said
is
it
if
out
you
loud
water it.
and I said it out loud
right,
and my first thought was like you're wrong. Like the grass is always fucking
right.
greener. Like you will get
Yes.
there. Like you're going to force the drought. You're going to force that red light. It matters what you do while you're sitting at that fucking stoplight. Are you checking your phone
Yep.
to see like what's going on the news, or are you fucking plotting your next move? Are you like, okay, this light's gonna turn green, and I'm gunning it through this to get to the next one? Like,
Yep.
what are you doing at the red light during that time that you're stopping during the drought to make sure that your plants and your grass is gonna be fucking watered to be green?
Right.
Simple.
Yep.
I didn't
Yep.
mean to cut you off on that line, but like
So that's okay.
that's Haley's very methodical in her thought and like she's driven in the fact that once she makes that same decision, she'll start doing it. It just takes her a little bit longer to
And
get there.
that's
She's
where
very methodical in the way she thinks about things. Me, I'll think about
yeah.
it, but the minute it's there, like I'm gone. Like I'll just say something. And it's like, okay, well now I gotta fucking do it. Fuck. Like I said it out loud. Now I have to do it. Man of my word, like
Yeah.
have to get it done. And all of us have lived different experiences. That's been a general theme of this podcast, right? Even though we grew up under the same roof, what how through your life have you weighed risk? Like how do you weigh a risk, for instance?
Um,
Man, y'all got me fucking worked up. Feeling good, man. Pumped.
like for me, I've always been, who am I going to upset if I take this risk?
Right.
Who is it going to bother if I do this? What is so and so gonna say if I do this?
Yeah. I think I do the
And I
same
mean that's
thing.
not good.
Because
It
like we're adults, right? Like we obviously live our own life. We make those decisions for ourselves, right? Um
mhm.
the first thing I think of whenever I go to make a decision is my parents gonna be pissed at this? Like they have some overlying like fucking claw still above me, right? Like that control over me. Now, like I'll usually go through with whatever and just pay the consequences if mom and dad get mad, whatever the fuck, I don't care. But like that's usually one of the first thoughts in my head is like, is this gonna piss my dad off? Is this something I'm gonna have to fucking deal with? Like maybe that's a shitty way to look at life, I guess. Is like, oh, I'm gonna have to argue with my fucking mom or
I
dad.
think
And that's nothing
I think
I don't want to say like because they're going to listen to this podcast, they're going to watch this, they're going to think I'm talking shit about them. That's not what I'm doing.
it's
That's just
not.
my head is like, am I going to have to fucking argue with my dad about this? Am I going to have to like somehow make this make sense to people, or is this like the right
Mhm.
decision? And again, moving to the apartment, like we had that conversation. Like mom gave me shit about it. Like, why are you stepping backwards? That type of stuff. And that's just mom looking out for our best interests. And I understand that. Nothing against that
Yeah.
situation. But like that, and when we made the decision, I was like, my parents are going to ask a lot of questions. Like they're going to try and figure out what's going on. And again, it's them looking out for their best interests of us. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no ill will towards that.
And I think that's why we think the way we do because, you don't want to disappoint them. You always want to make your parents proud or,
Push the bar.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. Um, yeah, so
What about you,
that's
TJ? How would you say, again, living different life, how would you say you weigh risk? It's a really hard question to
Um,
answer. It was a great answer, by the way, Hill.
it
yeah,
is. Thanks.
Sorry.
for me personally, I mean, when I think about risk, I more think about will I be able to come back? Like how hard will it be to bounce back if the risk does hit me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I kind of weighed out pros and cons. I don't know. I would say I'm also very methodical in my thinking. Like I try to weigh out every possibility.
Yeah.
So if I do this, shit hits the fan, this is gonna happen. Can I recover from that to get back to, whatever?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I try to think of every possible thing so that I'm not blindsided,
Yeah.
basically.
When
So I'm almost
Yep.
prepared in every aspect for it.
Yeah, a question that I asked you earlier, Halo, was do you think who you would be? Like, when I was a kid, I never thought of that of myself. I never thought like future wise, like who am I gonna be? I don't know if it just like wasn't a doubt, you know what I mean? Or in that aspect of, yeah, I want to be an MLB player, but that was never gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like we all have dreams as kids, but that's not what I'm saying here. I'm
Right.
saying like, am I who I thought I would be? I think the answer is yes. Like I don't think I've changed that much as a kid. In a lot of ways, people will probably argue with that, but um, it for me, like I never thought of that as a kid. Now I do. Like when I weigh risk, that's what I think. I was like, okay, wouldn't is this the right move? Is this the move like X would make? Is this the move
Right.
that this person would make? And if so, like when this goes wrong, how the fuck am I gonna dig myself out of this hole? Like I can't dig. You can't dig up. You can't dig up. You have to
No.
dig down and
Nope.
then lateral. You know what I mean? It's not just up and
Yeah.
down. When you dig a hole, you have to go diagonal. You can't just go up. And it's very it's just like a staircase, you know what I mean? There's spiral staircases that go up, but it's going to look like you're going down a couple times, down a couple steps. When
Yeah.
you go up a stairway, it's not just vertical. Yeah, there's elevators, sometimes you can skip those steps, but no matter what you have to do, you have to be able to weigh the risk of like, oh, if I take this elevator, am I going to get fucking stuck in this bitch on the third floor when I need to get to the
Mhm.
fifth, and then I'm just in this third floor forever? Like it's a very tough question to ask, but it's something that I've been looking forward to ask, and it's a question that I pose in my head about a lot of people. Because I mean, for instance, like Shauna makes a lot of decisions in her life, right? Some of them are good, some of them are bad. We all do the same thing. That is somebody I'm very interested to like ask that question. You know what I mean? It's a question that I would be really interested to like ask Pa at the time. You know what I mean? If he was still around, I'd love. I said this a while ago. There's a lot of questions that I would like to ask that I wasn't smart enough or knowledgeable enough growth wise to ask my grandparents while they're still around. So and still have grandma, so there's a lot of questions I have for her, but that's for a different time. Um, and it's a question that always intrigues me when I think of people. Because I think everybody has a similar answer in that aspect of, oh, well, I just look at the pros and cons type thing. But it's truly a deeper question than just, oh, yeah, well, it's risk versus reward. It's a very hard question to actually put into
Right.
words because TJ knows his answer. Like he knows what he does, but you can't put it into words. Like
Yeah.
you can't exactly explain it. And I really love that question. But what's a moment for both of y'all that you would say you truly took a leap in something, knowing the risk could be detrimental, that you were gonna have to get out the backhoe and dig your way out of it, but it worked out.
Um, for me, it was my divorce.
Yeah, which we'll get
Uh,
into for sure.
yeah.
That came off really
Oh,
bad saying it like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. We'll get into the
Oh,
divorce.
definitely. That's on the board.
Oh,
yeah.
trust me. We're
So,
gonna talk about it.
um, yeah, I'll just say that, and then I'll
Okay,
talk about that more.
great. Okay, what about you, TJ?
I don't know. There's kind of like two low key. Like I feel like the easy answer is coming here, but I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like it wasn't as much because I had y'all. Like it wasn't like me on my own. Say the like year before I did move down here.
Yeah,
Like right after my mom passed, and it was like my apartment. I feel like that was a bigger risk for me because
yeah, I agree.
I was younger and it was the first time
Right.
like my
Like a
apartment,
lot
so
of
it
things
was
could
like
go wrong, especially
a
again, like you
lot of
said,
shit
younger.
was moving.
It wasn't a decision. You know what I mean? It wasn't a risk that it was a red light you experienced that you didn't force. Like you
Yeah,
had
like I was
obviously a
barely
life
21.
altering like experience to put you in that
Yeah,
situation, and there's a lot that could have gone wrong decision making wise while you were there, even after you moved. So I
right.
like that answer
Yeah,
better
so that's
than you moved here.
I do. Yeah, I do too. That was kind of torn. So
Yeah. Uh, on my point of view of that, obviously, like me moving here was obviously a huge risk. One of the biggest risks that I think about in life, especially in today's day and age, and this actually just kind of clicked into my head. I wasn't going to answer this way, but committing to a relationship at a young age um, was obviously a huge
Yeah.
risk, and I don't think about that. But like TJ just said, oh, getting your first apartment, like I didn't have to experience that on my own. Like me and Haley had each other. That's a risk that
Right.
like we had to take, but we obviously had some type of support system in each other. Um, and I think Haley would agree, like taking that risk at a young age and committing to a relationship that obviously things may not work out. We've had our ups and downs. You never know. Going off of like
Right.
divorce, like you never know. Divorce is a 50-50 shot nowadays. Hell, it's probably 60-40 nowadays. And
probably.
like
Yeah.
thinking back, that's probably one of the bigger risks me and Haley have taken in our life, but it made every other risk that much easier. So it's something that I'm really blessed for. Um, and I'm really glad that kind of popped into my head before I answered that question. Is there a risk
It's a good
that
answer.
you guys would say you're sorry for, or maybe something that you're sorry for in that aspect?
I would say
No.
not
I would-
real like not off rip. Like maybe if I like really sat and thought about it, but I try to like I don't want to say like do shit unapologetically, but like I kind of everyone's kind of aware of what I'm thinking, what I'm gonna do, like
Yeah,
so I would say overall not necessarily sorry, but I would say I don't love some things, I guess.
yeah. Maybe sorry is the wrong term. I don't mean like, oh, you're sorry, like to, for instance, he'll like mom and dad, you're sorry to them for taking this risk or whatever. I mean like you're sorry to yourself. Like you wish you didn't take that risk because it set you back. In my opinion, everybody's answer to that question should be no. I'm just interested in hearing it because you should never feel sorry for taking a risk on what could be a life
No.
altering change and just like a life lesson kind of question. So I was just interested to see how you guys would answer.
Okay,
I
I
think
mean
too,
sometimes No, go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead. I think too, like, not so much sorry for yourself, but like, don't ever be sorry to other people for taking the risk.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder, right? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's easy to forgive yourself. You can make up every excuse as to why something didn't work out and how you're going to fix it, but it's a lot harder to not be sorry to say mom and dad, for instance, like we moved away. Like it's a risk that worked out. I'm not sorry for it, but like that's something that I could be like, yeah, that really hurt my parents, that hurt my siblings. Like we were just
Right.
talking. You wish you could just drive 20 minutes down the road and just pop in and see you have a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning or something. Like that
Yeah.
hurts. You know what I mean? That affects people emotionally. So not that that's something I'm sorry for, but it's a lot. If this didn't work out and I was just down here, you know what I mean, and it ruined all of our relationships, that would be a risk that I'm sorry for, even if it worked out, right? But I think
Right.
that's a very good point. It's a lot harder in that aspect to not be sorry to other people for things, especially if they fail.
Yeah. Yep.
With values being kind of given down from the early part of all of our lives, from parents and direct influences, until children become adults and form their own belief system, what's something that you think people need to value more?
Time.
Okay.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah,
when you say
that's a
time,
great
I
answer.
assume you mean like other people's time, not necessarily like, oh, you need to take advantage of the time you're on Earth, right?
Right.
Okay. What about you, TJ? We'll get
I,
into that answer here.
although,
Go ahead.
yeah.
You can answer.
Um, I I think just time in general. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know how long anybody's gonna be here. Um,
That's why I said like you mean other
even
people's
even
time
your time.
because
Yeah, like, but even your own time in a day, you know,
yeah.
most people work 8 hours a day.
Mhm.
You come home and some people do nothing.
Mhm.
It's like, and then bitch, oh, I don't have any time to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, 8 hours out of 24 hours,
8
you
hours of
know,
working, 8 hours of sleeping, you
quite a
got
bit.
8 hours to do everything else. Let's say it takes, a total of an hour and a half to eat. That leaves you 6.5 hours. Let's say you take another fucking hour every day, shitting, pissing, glorping it. You know what I mean? You got 6 hours to do whatever you need.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
But more so like other people's time.
Yeah. I like that answer. What about you, TJ?
Man, I don't. I've been trying to think this whole time, but
Well, Hill just took the
I
number
really
one answer
can't.
off the fucking Jeopardy board. So,
On
It's the best.
God, like I mean, that's the best one. Like, how do you come up with something other than that? I guess because yeah, like it's hard to not, you don't think about it. Like I kind of had that thought the other day, like when adults are like, man, like you'll learn when you're older. I'm like just kind of hitting that age where I'm like, fuck, yeah, you weren't kidding,
Right.
man. Like
yeah.
shit flies. And so yeah, I mean, it's a cop out, but I agree. Like time is definitely
Yeah. I think the answer that always sticks out to me when I look at a question like this, like what's something that's either undervalued or valued more? It's kind of the whole reason why we started the time in or time out portion of the podcast is like not necessarily time. Really great answer. I love it. For me, it's like ethics, morals, like you need to value what other people have opinions on. Going back to what we talked about last week, do whatever you want to do, love who you want to love, fuck who you want to fuck, own what you want to own, right? Obviously, there's statutes and limitations to a lot of things. Um, but to me, like ethically, morally, that's where those lines come in, right? Uh, I think that needs to be valued a little bit more. Is other people's opinions don't need to just be shut down. Um, we all, me and Hill, again, raised under the same roof. A lot of things were instilled in us at a young age, and look at how different of people we are. Um, is part of the reason why it's easier for me to listen to what other people have to say, even if I disagree with them. Their point of view matters on anything, whatever it may be about, or whatever they're interested in. Again, hobbies and stuff. It's the same answer as time. Like you
Yeah.
spend your time doing one thing. Why should I judge you for that? You know, it, it
Yeah.
to
I
me
agree.
that's
Yep.
where it comes from. We talked about it earlier, and I kind of already spoke on this. When it comes to uncertainty or risk, how much are you guys willing to sacrifice for a better life? I had a leading question
Um,
into that, but you stole the words out of my mouth earlier, so we already talked about it. So I can't ask the leading question.
sorry. So this was a hard one for me.
Yep.
Um, I don't think I have anything or would sacrifice anything for a better life.
Hmm.
Um, those things you just have to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's for yourself, for you and your family, it's just one of those things where you have to do it.
Yeah.
Um, and it just goes to the thing too of, your own happiness. If it's going to make you happy, then you and your family, and my family is me and Riley. If it makes us happy, then that's a sacrifice we have to
That's the
take.
argument you're gonna have, like not with you and Riley,
Yes.
but the other people. Um,
Right.
I mean, it goes into what we kind of talked about earlier of like not to ask the corny question of like what is everyone's happiness, that's how I look at life. We've basically talked about something along this way every episode of this season of the podcast is like, what's the end goal? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Like, how do you get to that point? Like, I'm
Mhm.
not trying to think of, oh, I want to be 65 tomorrow. This is how I want my life to be. I'm just thinking of my life of, okay, at 65, this is what I really want to enjoy. That to me is happiness. You know what I mean? Happiness,
Yep. Yep.
don't get me wrong, a boat makes you pretty happy, but it's what you have when you're 65. If I don't have a boat at 65, then it obviously didn't bring me happiness, right? Like I want to retire. That's your happiness, right? You live your whole life. Now you get to do whatever the fuck you want with whatever money you have left and have a great time. Um
Right. Yep.
so that's
I will
why I
say though,
don't like it.
happiness is definitely not consistent.
Yeah.
It comes in waves. Like it's
Yeah.
so like it's more how you make it rather than trying to constantly find happiness because you will be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
just
agree with
look
that.
like I said, I look at my whole life, right? Like I've never been a
No, yeah.
depressive person for the most part. Like yeah, there's times when you fall into that dark hole. I think everybody does, but uh it's it's the grand scheme of things that you have to remind yourself about. Like again, pineapple energy, finding that positivity and everything, and it'll be pretty easy to find happiness that way. That's me personally speaking for myself. No, that doesn't work for everyone, and it may never work for anyone else, but it works for me being able to just find that positive light in whatever situation. Like it's the grand scheme of things. I'm here, I'm breathing. I have a great family that loves me, 2 dogs that are beautiful. We're currently renting a house. We're moving to a place that has a pool and a gym. Like, you know what I mean? We're blessed in a lot of ways. So you have to find the things to look forward to in life in that aspect.
Yep. I agree. That's one thing. Like Riley's always been a positive person.
Yes.
You know, no matter the circumstances. And that's really taught me a lot. And I mean, yes, I've always been, you know, a happy person, but there's so much negative around and it just consumes you. And,
Yeah.
you know, since I've been with Riley,
I have a
he's,
whole page
you
in my
know,
journal. It's written really big that says negativity consumes. It's just one page, 2 words, massive.
yeah, yeah. And it really does. And obviously I'm thankful for Riley for always being positive because he's our positive in this relationship and
That's for
that's
sure.
okay.
You're
Mhm.
a little negative Nancy.
Most days I am, yeah.
Yeah. Grouchy little lady, that's for sure. You mentioned your divorce earlier. We're gonna get into the love portion of this podcast. I have a lot of
Oh
question that
boy.
questions that I'm very intrigued to kind of hear about. It's not really about your divorce. It's more about love and in general, but we have to talk about these things in
Hmm.
order to get to that point. Uh
All right.
growing up as a man, maybe TJ can't attest to this, but this is something that every movie that I've ever watched basically shows. Dreaming of love is something that, as a man, is seen in movies and in growing up as a woman's first dream. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. What about you, Hill?
Um, I think
I
it's
don't know.
true if you follow that norm of society.
Yeah.
To me, it's just because that's the way society portrays it.
Yeah.
But every obviously everybody wants to find love. But to me it's something it has to be worked for.
Right. And that's the reason why I posed it to like that is because again, when I was thinking of certain questions to ask along this topic, that's what came up in my head was like, man, you look at life and it's a 50-50 divorce ratio, whatever it may be. Relationships hardly ever work. You're more apt to break up than you are to stick together. And when you grow up, that's all you see watching movies, TV shows is like 99% of the time that shit works out, or like 99% of the time it's always like the woman has this massive love interest of something. And like fucking think of every Hallmark movie, you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
always dreamed of staying home and falling in love, raising a family. And
Yep.
obviously the societal answer to that is yes, of course that's true. Every woman dreams of love. I can't say like every man dreams of things like that because I don't think that would be a true statement, especially in the way I worded this question. But I don't think it's actually true. I think the way you answered that question and realized what I was trying to do is what it is. Like,
Mhm.
yes, everybody wants to find love, but it's not something that you should dream of like that. For instance, like I have a lot of single friends. I have a lot of friends that are in happy relationships with a kid. I think the people that do better in finding a relationship are the people that aren't just constantly dreaming of it, of thinking, wow, I'm going to sleep alone tonight, or like, wow, I really just want, like, envious of other people's relationship. Obviously, they're
Yeah,
happier in life if you don't do that, but I mean, truly have a better opportunity of finding love because then you're just not forcing it. You know,
right,
you're, it's one thing to try to find love, it's another thing to force finding a love. It's one thing to find love or find a diamond. It's another thing to dig for diamonds. It's a lot more work
right.
than that. Um,
Yes.
and obviously, you know, you've now been divorced and remarried. Do you mind walking us through what your divorce was like? Obviously, we've never really talked about this. This isn't anything that we have ever had that type of relationship of, I would say. We don't really
Mhm.
talk about our love lives like that when things go in that direction, I would say either. If you don't mind, if you don't want to, you don't have to talk about it, but I would love to kind of hear that part of your story. That's a story of my own sister that I don't know.
Yep. Um, I always have described it as the pits of hell. Um, I, being with somebody for 5 years, knowing them 5 years prior to that,
Yeah.
you think everything's great. They are who they are, and you've accepted that, you love them, and that's okay. Um, but, you know, a flip of a switch and things just go wrong. Um, it was very hard for me to like comprehend that, I guess. I, did all I could to try to make it work. Um, as much as the other person said I did not. Um, you know, should I have gotten married?
No.
Absolutely not. And that's something that I've always blamed myself because I didn't talk about things.
Yeah.
Um, and I know if I spoke about things, um, I think I would have had more help.
Mhm.
I would have felt supported, and I think it would have been an easier decision. Um, but I always hid a lot, and what happened behind closed doors happens behind closed doors. But telling I was the one that said wanted a divorce,
Yeah.
and then I was a bad guy. And it's like, how am I the bad guy? I've, tried to help for 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
I did all of I could to try to help. It just, wasn't there anymore. And if I had any advice to anybody like going through it or not knowing or, you know, don't know how, is to talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody. As
I
much
think that
as
also goes off of your situation though. Now where you're at in life, not marriage wise, but like who you surrounded yourself with at the time, looking at what relationships and partnerships have ended throughout the time now within the last year
Mhm.
also goes deep into that. Not I didn't want to cut you off. I just want to say like I don't think you should blame yourself for that. Obviously you should have talked about it. You know what I mean? There's a line there. But I think you also are not now currently realizing, oh, the people that I had around me every single day also were a problem, not just my marriage. Um, that is half the reason why you didn't open up. Um, because not only were you dealing with your problems, you were dealing with everybody else's problems and trying to not care for, but take care of a house of people.
Yeah. Um yeah. I absolutely agree with that. Uh and I mean a lot happened even, deciding on the divorce. Nana had just passed away.
Yeah.
So it I think a lot of it too, like I was questioned, are you sure you want a divorce or are you just grieving?
Hmm.
And I
Such a weird
again
question.
don't know how somebody put two and two
Yeah.
together.
I mean, I'm
Even
sure
ask
there's
that
probably
question.
circumstances out there that do allude to certain things like that. But
Right.
It's
it's
a
And
wild question,
yeah.
man.
right, and it really made me think, like, is this person right? Like, am I grieving or, you
Am I
know,
taking this out on this
do I
person?
really yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
What a weird
so
question.
when I finally had decided, I need to do this. This is what I need to do for myself.
Yeah.
I I lost myself completely. Um, and then he didn't want to sign the divorce papers, and I paid for everything, the lawyer, the fees,
Yeah.
everything. And it was like, why I don't understand why you don't want to sign these papers. Why I just I didn't understand. And that's why I always called it the pits of hell, because it was like I would make 40 steps forward just to be sent back
Yeah.
80 steps.
Uh, a
Um
quote that always comes to mind when people talk about divorce, and maybe he was just maybe he still loved you. I don't know the circumstances of who he was, especially towards the end of y'all's tenure together. Um, a quote or a situation I always think of is Will Smith. I forgot who he was originally married to before Jada Pinkett Smith, which that's a whole different conversation we could have about that relationship. But his first marriage was great, and then it wasn't great, and they were getting divorced. She didn't want to be with him, and he wouldn't agree to the divorce. He wouldn't agree to it. And basically what this woman said to him, I can't remember who it was, obviously was a celebrity, uh but what she had said to him, like, do you really want to be with somebody, do you really want to be married to somebody that doesn't love you anymore? And like, that's what I think of whenever I hear like that. So like, what do you mean you don't want to sign the divorce papers? Like, you're gonna just keep fighting for something that's already dead? Like, you're gonna keep trying to fucking CPR this lifeless body? Like,
yeah,
what's going on?
yeah.
Granted, love's hard, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it doesn't just go away.
No, it doesn't. And especially, we were friends for so long before we even decided to, be in a relationship, let alone,
Yeah.
you know. Um
Well, and
and
it's too. You mentioned how much things can go so well and then go so wrong. I didn't know him that well. I mean, it's no different than like I said to Riley, like, I don't remember like how Riley came into the scope of things. Like, I just first memory I have is like you calling me as I'm standing out on the lot and that having that conversation about moving to New York and moving to Vermont and then back to New York. Obviously there's more to the relationship than that, but I was here, like, I was fighting for my fucking life to build a life, right? But
right.
that the previous relationship was very similar. Like, I obviously knew you guys were friends, and then all of a sudden he was around more, you guys were getting together, and that's also on me because I don't pay attention to that type of shit as a dude, I
Mhm.
think. Um but like, he changed drastically over the years, like,
And
and if it again didn't know a lot about the person, but the stuff I did know all of a sudden wasn't there anymore. Like, the
yeah,
things, again, for instance, not, health is its own journey for everyone, but to be a fitness person, to how that ended up, again, don't know. I'm not speaking ill on him in any way or shape or form, but how that started to where it went, to him throwing me soft toss baseball to where it went, and how certain things escalated. And throughout your relationship, when you guys first got the trailer out there, and all that situation, driving 95 years away to see you guys, it was majority of the time, like, when we would get there, like if me and Haley visited or I visited or came by to help out, or anytime we talk, he would be at work, whatever, which great if he had the job at the time. you never, I wouldn't say you never alluded to things not being great because you guys got married, but we had conversations before you guys got married and after you guys got married of how things were going. You were never explicit. You never like said, like whatever, but a big issue for you was video games at the time, but there's more to it than just that as we know now. But that's what you would
Yeah.
allude to. So I would obviously give you shit and be like, I mean, he can do whatever, you know what I mean? Let him play video games, whatever, have a good time, play with the boys. Again, now there's more to that, but I'm an advocate for love. I love love. I think everybody should, be find that in their life. Everybody deserves it. So I would advocate
Mhm.
that for you. It's like it'll work out. Like you just got to keep your head down. Like keep fucking trucking, work it out, whatever. Um, but towards the end, it was like, yeah, you got to get out of here. Like you can't do this anymore. And that was never a conversation we had after that. You know what I mean? You never came to me and
Yeah.
were like, what you think? What do you think? You made that decision on your own, which is how it should be. But
Mhm.
it's it was very weird like sitting back watching it all unfold because obviously we didn't know anything, or at least
Yeah.
I didn't, again being in the situation we were in halfway across the country, with
Mhm.
everything going on. It all still made sense, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, there were
Yeah.
questions, but it was never like that's why I said it's such a weird question for the whole grieving thing, which again I'm sure there's circumstances out there that question makes
Yeah.
sense. But for me, even being an outsider that didn't really know much, I've never even thought about that. That wasn't even like a thought in my head until you said that. That's why I was like, wow, that's such a weird question because I just don't understand where that could have came from in this instance. Um, what are some of the decisions you had to make outside of obviously being like, I'm going to get divorced? What were some of the decisions after you made that decision? Like what were risks or things that you had to do to kind of finalize it outside of him not signing the paper as well?
So obviously, like when we got divorced, I wasn't working.
Yeah.
I was just taking care of Pa.
Mhm.
So I had no car, no job. We had I had just taken over the house,
Yeah.
which was livable, but like not really.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I had to make all of that, not that I had to find a job right away because I was taking care of Pa, like I said.
Yeah.
Um, but I knew I needed a job. I knew I needed a car.
Yeah.
I had nothing,
Yeah. You're basically starting fresh.
and yeah, because like also when he moved out before he signed divorce papers. But he left when I was away for a weekend.
Yeah.
Um and he took the TV, the internet, everything.
Yeah.
So I came home to nothing.
Yeah.
Um and like I said, you never know when you're going to have to take those risks, and I knew I needed to pick myself up, and I knew I could. And I did. I got a job. Within 6 months I had a car. Um, Thankfully, like our parents were very supportive of for me and, helped me any way they could.
Mhm.
Um, so, you know, him basically we went back and forth so many times about signing the divorce papers, and then it was like he didn't want to hear from me. And it's like, you don't want to hear from me, sign these papers. So then I was then
Yeah.
communicating like with his sister and his mother, and it's like, how old are we?
Yeah, like what it's such a weird circumstance. Obviously, I don't have any experience in that, but
Right.
like you said, how old are we? Like what are we doing? Why are we prolonging this?
Right. So, like I said, I obviously was at rock bottom as anybody would be. I mean,
Yeah.
you think you're just in a comfortable place. So, I didn't have to work at the time. We shared a car,
Mhm.
um, you know, and it was fine. It, I literally started fresh. I mean,
Yeah.
thankfully, I would. I had the house. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
And it's just it
Do you think you would have went back home, like back to mom and dad's?
I would have had to,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's my. I don't
you
think there would
know,
have been a
and
choice.
yeah, obviously it's not something you want to do,
Yeah.
but I would have had to.
Yeah.
And again, it's okay. I mean, back then, did I feel um like a failure? You feel like a failure, you know?
Hmm.
I was 30 years old. Um
Felt like you had nothing. I mean,
yeah,
mentally, I can't imagine like the wear that obviously had coming out the other side. Again, going back to what we said, the grass isn't always greener, but it is if you take care of it. And
mm,
sometimes, you know, where you were, the grass wasn't green either. You didn't have a sprinkler on water in it. And um,
no,
not to make like, a flower analogy in that way, but it sometimes you just need a little bit of water to grow. And that's what happened, I think. I think you were just looking back with everything that was going on. Um, taking like Riley and everything out of it, like taking your relationship and your marriage out of it now, coming out the other side doing it the way you did it is huge. Not everybody can say they
yeah,
can do it that way.
no, and you know, a lot of people always ask me like, and even so now, like, what pushed you to want a divorce? And like looking back at it, I came to Nashville for my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
He didn't want to come.
Yeah.
And that was like, well, what the fuck? Like, 30 is a big deal.
Yeah, like it's my fucking not even 30, like it's my fucking birthday. We're going to see my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never heard from him.
Yeah. So,
So that was like, what the fuck?
yeah.
What am I doing? And I think that truly was my eye opener.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of everything that had happened, that was like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Like, you're my husband and you don't want to spend my birthday with me.
Yeah.
What am I doing
Yeah,
here?
that's
Like
why are
again,
we
Um,
regardless
even
of like,
yeah.
oh, it's your 30th birthday or like where you were going. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
yeah, like what am I doing? And that's where I was like, Hillary, what are you doing?
Hmm. It's really tough.
Yeah.
And now that obviously you mentioned being 30, you felt like a failure. Being in your mid 30s now, having been divorced and now remarried, to truly find a love worth pushing forward for. How does that feel now?
It's great, honestly. Um, did I think it would happen? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest, like I wasn't sure I even wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Um, obviously it was soon. Um, trust me, I've heard that story before too, oh, she's already with somebody. She just got divorced. Yep, sure am. It's just and obviously it was my time. And that's the way I look at it. If whoever is out there didn't want me, you know, to be happy and be, in love, then it wouldn't have happened, but it
Yeah.
did. Riley's great.
Yeah, great dude.
He's picked me up from rock bottom, through all the anger, all the lash outs
Yeah.
for things he didn't even do. Um, and I guess like, to anybody who's gone through divorce or is going through divorce, you know, you're gonna have a good outcome. You have to be positive about it.
Yeah. What was the moment that, after you and Riley started talking, was the first moment where you're like, this guy's not so bad. Like I think I love this guy, or like, maybe this could work out. Maybe I do want to find love again.
I would say that I could talk to him about anything. We
Hmm.
had very deep conversations before we even, you know, made it official, is what
Yeah.
I would say.
What
We
was one
talked
of the what was
for,
one of the first deep conversations you had?
I would say, like, you know, well, we both been through divorce and all
Yeah.
of that. So I would say like the first deep conversation was, we both talked about our divorce
Yeah.
and what our previous relationship was like and what we didn't want, in a future relationship.
Yeah.
Um,
How
and
early
just
was that
things,
conversation? I know I'm
what?
asking how early was that conversation? I know I'm asking like detail oriented questions, but just
No,
interested
it's
in it.
okay.
Having that
Like I
kind of
said, it was
conversation early would be tough, obviously. But if you're both recently divorced or had been divorced, that's obviously a conversation that's going to come up regardless. Like at some point, you guys were going to have to talk about the previous relationships. Was this at a point where
right.
you guys were quote unquote getting ready or like talking about like, hey, I kind of like you, like I think this could work, but we need to have this conversation, or was it just like it came up fluidly?
I think it just came up. Like I said, we made it official the end of October, and I would say we were talking probably the beginning of September. So between that month, we had, those tough conversations.
Yeah.
And I think truthfully, like that's what did it, being able to open up and be honest, you know,
Finding someone that
to
had
each
such a
other.
similar uh path
And
to a
honestly,
relationship.
and it's super weird, but the whole like his relationship with his ex, like my relationship with my ex, very similar.
Yeah.
The whole storyline. Um Things that neither one of us are proud of, but I think those deep conversations really, you know, it just builds a lot of trust.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, and you guys know, like I'm never one to shy away from conversation. I love to have those kind of hard conversations. I just enjoy it. I like hearing not, how necessarily you went through a divorce and then it makes it hard, right? But it's hard to hear your sister talk about those things and what she went through, and you hate to
Mhm.
see that for anybody, let alone a family member. Uh,
Right.
but it's so unique, like thinking about how you guys found each other in that situation, almost planet aligned type timing, right? Like, um, how early would you say like you told him like, hey, yeah, I love you, or he said I love you? Is that when you guys started to get together? Like you made it official, like, oh, I love this guy, or you guys are like, yeah, we're just like quote unquote going steady?
Um,
I
he said
couldn't
I
find a
love you
way not to
first.
word that like corny, like, oh, who said I love you
Going
first?
steady.
I was trying
Yeah.
to find a way to pose the question of like, were you in love when you started dating, or did it take time to like build more than just, yeah, we're going on dates and whatnot, like making it he's my boyfriend girlfriend, you know what I mean?
I think, love was there before we were like, okay, you're my girlfriend. Um, and like I said, I think it's because of those deep conversations.
Yeah.
Like he was just somebody, you know, that I could tell everything to. And, he didn't look at me like any other way, we talked about it and he listened and same for him. I, listened to all of his things and we cried, we laughed, we did it
Yeah.
all.
Would
Like
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
It's just a dumb question, you can finish your thought.
And like I said, it was before we, made it official.
Nice. Well, the question that I was gonna ask, like I said, it's a dumb question, but like as an adult saying like, oh yeah, uh like that, yeah, it's my boyfriend girlfriend, like, do you feel like that's weird,
Yes.
like having to tell people that, like,
Yeah.
I mean, me and Haley
Yeah.
obviously were quote unquote dating for, again, a long time. But like we've always looked at our relationship very seriously. It was never a question of were we getting married. It was more of a when.
Right.
And like things like that. So telling somebody like, oh, my girlfriend always made sense. But like, for instance, like grandpa had his girlfriend. Such a weird thing. Like grandma and Dave. Like they weren't married, but
Right.
like I never referred, oh, my grandmother's boyfriend. Like that's not how we ever talked about him, but like grandpa's girlfriend, that's how we always, like, I don't know her fucking name,
Right.
but
Right.
granted, circumstances play into that, but is that not such like a weird concept as an adult to say like
Yeah.
that's why I said like going steady because I would rather say that
And
than being like, "Oh, well, I'm
yeah.
35 and have a girlfriend." You know? I
Yeah.
don't know, my head just kind of went into a different spot there.
No, that's okay. And it's funny because Riley hated the word fiance.
Really?
Hated it.
I don't know why.
Yeah, and I don't know why. But yeah, it was something he hated.
Hmm.
So it was just, you know, he would be like my old lady if he talked to the guys at work. And that's something I hate.
Why?
Like,
I like that.
I don't know. That's just a weird thing to me. Like my
Okay.
old
The old
lady.
What would
lady.
you rather be called?
Yeah, my fiance, or Hillary, something. Like
I mean, I always say like my fiance, but like the people I talk to at work obviously know me and Haley are engaged, but I only work
right.
with 8 other people that I see 5 days a week. But when someone comes in and I have to say something, I say, "Oh, my fiance." I don't have a lot of engagements where I have to say that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I would just say, "Oh yeah, like Haley," or when I'm talking to a vendor, I have to be like, "Yeah, my fiance." But a lot of our vendors know each other. Like I know her fire vendor, so when he comes in, I don't have to say my fiance. I just say, "Yeah, Haley." Like we know each other,
right.
so it's I don't really run into that situation often where I could be like, "Oh yeah, my old lady." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
I don't
just
run into that. Um,
it's
You'll get there.
cringy. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's why I said like going steady because saying girlfriend, boyfriend at 34 years old.
I would
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely
it's
just say we're together. We're together.
yeah.
yeah.
We don't
The
have to.
one thing that our nana used to always say to us is you don't hate anyone or anything. It's something that she used to say all the time, and it used to piss me the fuck off when I was a kid. Because no, Nana, I did hate that person very much, and I still
Uh-huh.
hate that
Yep.
person. Uh,
Yep.
that it's something that I think more people need to hear, especially as kids. Like growing up, you don't hate anyone or anything. What's a moment in your life that maybe brought you immense anger or hatred towards someone or something?
Uh, I would say before I made the decision of my divorce, the last 2 years of the relationship made me the angriest person that I've ever known myself to be. Um, so I not only hated myself, but I hated him
Yeah,
for making me feel this way about myself.
yeah,
Um, and Nana's speech in the back of my mind was always Hillary Elizabeth, you don't hate anybody, you highly dislike them.
yeah. You highly dislike them. You don't hate anyone.
And
Fuck you, Nana.
you
Yes, I
just
do. I do hate them.
sit there, yeah, you just wanted to
He's-
sit there and roll your damn eyes because no, I fucking hate him,
yeah,
like with my whole well-being. Um, so I don't know.
yeah. For me, I can't really think of an instance where like looking back that I truly have ever hated anyone. I mean, I used to hate this kid named Oliver, and I think about him from time to time. Little white kid, fucking crow's peak hair, pale white as a ghost. I don't even remember his last name, but like that motherfucker I hated, right? And I'm not kidding when I say like every once in a while, like something will happen, I'll be like, fucking Oliver, man.
That
Like
fucking motherfucker.
I remember but that's like the first instance of my life where she was like, "You don't hate anybody. You only highly dislike them." But like, no, that's a kid I hated. I hope he's doing well, you know. But I did not like him as a kid. But an instance that I truly remember that I was like, "No, I hate this guy," and I didn't really hate him, but it was Cody Smith, our cousin. We were at when they lived over on whatever fucking road that was with the pond. Can't think of the name of the road. Where you live.
My road.
Yeah, I can't think of the
Yes,
name of the road. Like I'm just drawing a blank.
Turkey Farm.
But beautiful, like house was beautiful. They tore it up, right? We would ride our bikes up and down the driveway, and you couldn't go past a certain stump. Well, he told me we could, and boy howdy, if we weren't riding our bikes past that fucking stump when our aunt and uncle got home, and I got my fucking ass chewed for fuck because of course he wasn't fucking out there. So they
Yeah.
came in, I'm fucking crying. I'm like 8 years old, and I'm just fucking, no, he told me I could do it. And the old, oh, if you jump off a bridge, whatever.
Yep.
And then obviously Nana was there because she was picking me up, and he had said something. And I was like, I hate you. Like, I hate you to Cody. And that's when she went into it. And I just looked at her like, you don't know you don't know hate. Okay. He's gonna learn what hatred is, okay? And
Yeah.
obviously overcame it. Our relationship flourished after that, but eventually, I haven't talked to him in probably a decade. But how would you say, outside, the divorce one we kind of just touched on, how would you say you overcame a moment like that?
Um, I just knew I needed to better myself. Um, and I think my biggest thing was hearing, you know, family talking some shit about me, why'd she even get married?
Yeah.
You know, i- it it really like, it sets you in a place that you don't want to be.
Right.
You're my family, you're supposed to be, supportive regardless of the situation.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you know me, we've had this conversation before in that aspect where I agreed with you. Like, yeah, you probably should have never gotten married. Obviously
Mhm.
didn't know the circumstances at the time. So, like, this is conversations we've had in the past now, but I'm always going to tell you how I feel. That doesn't mean I'm not going to back you up with whatever decision you're going to make. You know what I mean? But that's the difference.
Right.
Like, that's what family's supposed to be for. Whether I'm not going to go behind your back and talk shit about the decision you make, I'm going to stand by the decision you make, whether it's right or wrong. Like, all right, well, we got to make it work.
And it's like my thing was to I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I'm not a little kid anymore.
Going back
You
to
can
the
come to me and
conversation we
ask me
had, like, I don't. Why is my first thought is like, who am I going to piss off making this decision? I'm a grown ass man. Like, I don't need to do that.
right,
So
right.
you're right.
Come and talk to me. Come ask me questions. If
Yeah.
you want to know, come and talk to
You
me.
want to know why I made this decision? We can work that out. I can tell
Yeah,
you how, but I can't make you understand how. Right?
right.
It's the
Yep.
same thing. What about you, TJ? What's a moment where you thought you had hatred and you kind of overcame it?
See, I've been
You
trying to
got an
think like
Oliver in your
what you
life?
guys, you know,
I wish I could
not
remember his fucking last
really.
name so I could show him to you guys. That little fuck.
Like I don't know. I've never really like hated someone because like I've hated like professional or like celebs or something. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to murder KD when he left the Thunder, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. When I'm thinking like personal stuff, like it's always like I'll have some sort of anger, but then it just kind of goes away when the situation's gone. Like it's never
I'm
someone
gonna say,
comes
have you
around
ever
3 years later
Yeah.
and I'm like, that
like
motherfucker.
What were you gonna ask?
even like have you ever hated like a super like shitty situation?
Yeah. Like, how did you overcome something that you hated?
Um, I don't know. It always goes back to my mom. You know, that was a big. I had because I had a breakup about like 2 months after that.
Mhm.
So like that was a really big. Like I would say I hated her for a while, but then I don't know. I guess I learned how to like look at other people's perspectives. Like that was always a big problem for me. Was like hating from my side of everything,
Yeah.
but then learning, once I'm out of the situation, not necessarily while I'm still in it, but like, once some time is taken and you can kind of see everything, like, I guess I don't really have like a specific situation, but I would say I had situations where I've learned how to be like, okay, maybe that's why they did this or
Yeah.
Mhm.
whatever.
Would you say you guys hold grudges?
No,
I think
I
I
can't.
portrayed that I don't.
I was gonna say, I guess it depends.
I'm a pretty forgiving person the first couple times. Obviously, like, but that at that
Yeah.
point I don't consider it a grudge. You know what I mean? I mean, mom and dad have always told me I've been like that since I was a kid. Like, allow people a
Hmm.
couple chances and then give in. But I think I've made it known like through
The baseball
answers. Yeah, I
I
made
give
it
him 3.
known through like this podcast, having conversations with different people that like I don't hold grudges in that aspect. So I'm pretty forgiving. Um, I would say, Hill, you do hold grudges. I think you do. Um, TJ, I don't know about you. I don't really know of any instance where.
I was gonna say, I guess not really. Like
He said he
maybe
doesn't
it'll
hate you, but
always.
how hold a
That's what I
grudge?
mean. Like I can't think of an instance where like 5 years later you're
I
like,
won't.
yeah, fuck that guy.
I'll say it'll cross my mind.
Hmm.
Like I forgive, but I don't forget, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So like it'll cross my mind, but I won't be like, but I'll be more cautious, I guess. I don't know.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Hill, you mentioned that, or I mentioned to you and Riley that there was a question that I wanted to ask both you, and I obviously sent you the questions. Riley didn't
Yep.
have a great answer to this question. He said he was going to leave it up to you, which I was
No,
a
he didn't.
little fucking disappointed in him. But you've mentioned to me, and I don't know if this is what you guys have wanted to talk about, but now probably for 8 fucking months, you have been trying to have a conversation with me, but you never actually follow through on giving me a call for several months now. And there's one question that I told you guys both that I want to ask. Being given the house and the land is obviously something that you cherish and is a blessing, and no one will ever take that away. No one can tell you any different. And I think you guys can agree with that. But I'm sure it's also been a weight to bear. And really want you to elaborate on that because it's what I think that you guys have wanted to talk about. Not saying you have to get into the nitty gritty or anything like that, but what has it been like for you and Riley?
So obviously it is something that we wanted to talk about. I don't know why this is okay.
I say we can hear you.
Uh okay. Um Obviously for me this house holds a lot of memories.
Yeah.
I could remember every day that I came here when I was
Yeah.
little up
I feel like
until
every time like I've been
forever.
there, there was always something that I can that's a tangible item in my head.
Yeah. I've spent many days here, even before you and Shauna were born. I spent many summers here after, Nana and Pa watched us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I obviously knew, what I was getting into saying yes to taking this house over.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that pisses me off so much about, you know, the shit that happened with the family because in their eyes, I got a gold mine. Which, yeah, I did. But the amount of work the house needs,
Yeah.
equals that gold mine.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading my notes here.
You're good. Take your time.
I mean, obviously I love the house, I hate where it is. Absolutely hate where it is. If I could pick it up and put it out back, I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Um Obviously making the decision to either redo the entire house or build new out back is honestly fucking tiring.
Mm-hmm.
Because truthfully the pros and cons are equal. You know,
Yeah.
um
Building a house out back is a lot. I mean, you got no water, electricity, plumbing. You have
right,
no
and
foundation that has to be cleared. There's a whole bunch of shit.
yeah.
And then
And
you
we've
lose the
looked
fucking
at prices
racetrack, and I mean that just won't fly for me. So,
That's
and
non-negotiable.
speaking of thinking about pissing other people off,
There's 2.
yeah,
yeah, yep, yep. Um, you know, as for me and Riley, like obviously it's been a lot to bear because, you know, we just go back and forth so much. Do
yeah,
we build out back? Um, I always say I don't want to be house poor.
yeah.
And I think building out back would truthfully make us house poor. I don't want that.
I
Do
think,
do I
I mean, obviously
do
you
I
can
want
do it
to?
right. Like if you got like a construction loan and did it that way, because I mean, you already own the land. You don't need like a traditional mortgage. If you got a construction loan,
No.
I think it'd work out perfectly.
Right. Right. Um And, like, obviously, we've had the discussion before where it's super easy for Riley to just say, "Let's move here,"
Yeah.
and he can pick up and go. Um, I can't. A lot of what holds me back is, it's been a wilder household for
Yeah.
years. It was given to me and, you know, all the memories that it holds for me. Um, but it's hard because I've been here for 4 years, which is great. Obviously I'm happy to have had a roof over my head for the last 4 years. Um, but I stay here because of people's opinions,
Hmm.
because of thinking about what other people would say.
Yeah.
Um, do I have to sell it? Absolutely not. Um, but oh, I ask myself, why can't I move on and live my life like
Yeah.
say you and Haley did? You know, Shauna's gone. Mom and dad have always done what they wanted to
And
do
yeah, I
and
have said multiple
continue
times
to
like
do
they're
what
gonna
they
leave.
want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yes, I have great friends here that obviously would be, well, really hard to leave. But other than that, why do I stay? I have 38 acres of land and I
Yeah.
do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Um,
Do
I
you?
just, it's not easy for me to give it up. It's not
Yeah.
easy for me, and it's like, what do I do? Who do I talk to that, would actually sit down with me and give me like real raw advice
Yeah.
without it, in the back of their mind that, this is families, without it in the back of their mind that, oh, she was given this.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of hearing like you need to be grateful. I am grateful
Yeah. I don't think it's
beyond
a
what I
grateful
can even
thing.
explain,
Yeah.
you know, but like, is this where I'm meant to live the rest of my life?
Yeah.
I
I.
don't know. You know what I mean? Yes, I went to Vermont. I was there for fucking 6 months.
Yeah. It just, but that situation again, a little bit different. I mean, we talked last week. Like, I think it's meant for people to move away from home, even if it doesn't work out. Like, they should take a year and get away, to figure out
Mhm.
if it works out. Excuse my yawn. I think it's obviously tough because if you move to the wrong place, it's the wrong place. It's obviously not going to work out. But like Travis, I used the same example last week. Like he moved here, it wasn't the wrong place. It just wasn't right for him to be away from home. So it's a situation that worked out for him. I think Vermont obviously just wasn't the right place for you guys. I think it was right for your relationship at the time, and now you're in a better spot because of that as
Mhm.
well. But it's tough because I don't want to give my advice on the podcast because I don't want to have like that hard of a conversation unless you're open to having that conversation right now. Which again, we don't have to. But I mean, me and Haley have talked before because mom and dad called me it's probably about a year ago now. Maybe even the beginning of the year. I don't know how this conversation ended up leading this way, but essentially like they asked me about like selling like our childhood home and like the land, and I was like, no, why the fuck would you sell it? They're like, well, like just to get the money, like, and then like go do whatever. And I was like, I mean, if you want to, like, yeah, that's your choice. Like, I think that's a good choice. Obviously, I have no attachment to the house. Like, I have attachment to the land. Like, I loved where we grew up. I think the layout of the land was great. I'd love to just have that, and if it was up to me, like, I would be very grateful for that situation. But speaking of mom and dad's house, not pause.
Right.
Like they asked me what I thought, and I was like, "No, why would you sell it?" I mean, it's unless because I think they were saying like, "Oh, we get like 150 or like 200,000 or something for it." And I was like, "Better get more than that. Like you're sitting on a quarter acre in Mayfield School District with a house that's more than livable. It's been taken care of. You've done every maintenance thing you could ever do to it. There's a shed, there's a patio, there's a fucking what's essentially a 3-car garage in the back. Like half the lot is clear, half of it's wooded. There's trails in the back. There's access to the lake from the house within a mile. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to
Yeah.
sell the house, you got to try and get money for it or demolish the house and, just sell the land as it is, whatever you want to do.
Right.
And that, like, it's a similar viewpoint for me, like with you, is if you were to get out, don't sell the house or don't sell the land, or if you have to, sell the house as is and like parcel out that lot and just make an entrance from somewhere else to the back 40 or whatever, because you know what I mean, like that the land's going to be worth unfathomable amount of money by the time you guys are
Mm-hmm.
going. And you know, I'm just saying, if you don't have kids, the next in line is Kane. I'm just saying, I'm tossing that out there. In the grand scheme of heirs, it would be me. That's all I'm saying. Um,
You're
so
next.
I'm just saying, it's just, it's very tough because, like you said, I mean, it's conversations that I've had with with mom and dad about their house, and like conversations I've had with Haley is like, obviously it's a blessing. No one's going to take that away. No one's saying, or I don't think anyone can say like you're not grateful for it. I don't think you've ever shown that you're not grateful for it. But it's also a very hard situation that you accepted. Like you said, the house isn't in the greatest shape. Yes, there's a garage, but the garage was full of shit. Is probably still half full of shit. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like you were getting 40 acres of clear land that you can parcel out an acre each and sell it all and make a fuck ton of money in, or a brand new fucking 5-bedroom, beautifully built house. Like, you're getting a house that was built in the
Right.
fucking, I don't even know, the 50s. I don't know when that house was built. Like, there's shit that's so against code in that house that you couldn't even sell it if you wanted to, because it could never be inspected. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much shit that has to go into that at this point that it, if you wanted to sell it, like, I would say sell off, parcel it out, sell that portion of the land of just the house, and keep the rest, and we'll fucking figure something else out for as a family. You know what I mean? Like, get your fucking bag of it, and we'll go from there. Again, I'm not giving you my full advice in this situation because I don't want to have that kind of conversation right now. But you deserve something other than, oh, I was given this house and I need to be grateful. That's
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't think that's a fair outlook in any way. Um, do you have anything else
No.
that you want to say on that topic?
No.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll just fucking move on then. Fuck you.
All
Time
right.
under time out. It's time for the time under time out portion of this podcast. Your favorite portion of the podcast, everybody. It's where we try to give you our insight on whether something is worth your time, hard-earned money, or just has some type of value that we think we need to address, just to give our opinion on. So up first, we have family-friendly or dog-friendly areas. What I mean by that is family-friendly restaurants, dog-friendly, areas like restaurants or parks or whatever. I'm going to let you guys answer this, and then I'll give my point of view.
Okay, so I'm thinking of this weird because like time in for like family shit, but I get it's situational, right? Like if I'm at a bar, I don't want to see your 6-year-old sitting at a fucking high top,
Right.
like. But I don't know. So I would say, like I don't mind the dogs though. So I would say time out for the family, time in for the dogs. Because
Okay. What
yeah,
about you, Hill?
Time out for me for both.
Okay. Why?
If I'm going out somewhere, I'm going out to, enjoy.
Right.
I mean, obviously you have your typical restaurants where kids are allowed, but like if I'm going, for instance, when we go to Hampton Beach, we go to the boardwalk, go to a bar, you know, again, like TJ said, you
It's
got
good.
6-year-olds sitting at the table next to you. It's like,
Yeah. And like the
it's
boardwalk
so
is
it fucks
tough
the
because,
mood.
like, okay, it's a boardwalk. Like, there's obviously going to be families there, but like,
right.
go to any fucking other restaurant, establishment, saltwater taffy stand, other than this
The
fucking one
arcade.
bar. Like, dude,
Yes.
so don't get me wrong, love kids, love people's kids, love people that want to have kids. You know what I mean? Good for you.
Yep.
I love dogs. I love dogs. Have my own.
Me
Love people
too.
that have dogs.
Yep.
Don't have anything against them. But not
I was
every
gonna ask you, what do
motherfucking
you mean dog friendly?
I was just
Like
about to answer.
perfect.
Not every fucking establishment needs to be family friendly or pet friendly. Your dog does not need to go fucking everywhere with you. You want to bring your dog to
Mhm.
Lowe's? Go the fuck ahead. Don't care. Bring your dog to Walmart. Don't care. Your dog does not need to be in a restaurant. Your dog does not need to be at fucking Home Goods. Your dog does not need to come with you to my house. Like your
I'm changing my
family.
answer.
I love
Time out.
families.
Because why is your dog at Walmart? What the fuck do you need your dog at Walmart for?
That's what I mean. Like you're just taking your dog with you because you have no other fucking friends. Like you don't want your dog to be alone. You didn't crate
So,
train your
like,
dog. Like I love that your
Right.
dog is so friendly and able to be out here. That's great. Leave your fucking
That's
dog at
great.
home. Leave your dog at home.
yeah, like for me, like when we go to the beach, people bring their dogs. It's like,
And let them run 99%
why
of
is
the
it
time.
necessary?
Yeah.
Yeah, fetch a ball or a
Yeah.
frisbee.
I don't want to be
Not
like sometimes
necessary.
I just want it to be quiet, especially like again, if I'm close with Sam in Walmart, just walking down the fucking thing, dog, obviously I'm going to see the dog and be like, "Hey buddy, like, oh, you look so cute." And the dog barks. Okay, well, obviously your fucking dog doesn't want to be around fucking people. Like or
Yeah, like you're just dragging.
if
him.
your dog's like coming up to somebody, like comes up to me and is like sniffing, wants pets, and then you're like, "No, don't pet him." You're subjecting your dog to the fucking public, pal. Okay? And like the whole family friendly thing, like granted, it depends where you go. For instance, if you go to a boardwalk, there's gonna be families there, right? But
Right.
again, you go down to Broadway, there's after a certain time, like kids aren't allowed. Anyone under 21 is not allowed into clubs or into the bars. But like one of the clubs that like people are allowed to have families in, DraftKings Sports Bar. It's a bar where you sit down, eat, it's food, it's fucking it's a sport, it's literally DraftKings. It's a betting sports lounge.
Yeah.
And you can have your kid in there. Why? Why?
It's odd.
Why?
It's odd.
Like, and I mean, you know me, I have the mouth of a sailor most of the time.
Yep.
Same.
If I'm out in public, I can say whatever the fuck I want. Like,
Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna swear, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, First Amendment, baby. Like, I'm gonna say what I want to say. So and I've never had this happen, but I see it happen all the time. Like, hey, there's kids around, just please watch your language. Or like, they'll have signs that say like, oh, like, don't use profanity. Like the golf course, for instance, says don't use profanity. Fuck
Yeah.
you, buddy.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna if I
Watch
slice
me.
this ball fucking 100 yards to the right, you bet your ass I'm swearing. You bet your ass this club's going flying. Like, it's not everywhere needs to be family friendly. You don't need to bring your kid everywhere. You don't need to bring your dog everywhere. If I sit down in a bar, a brewery like Druthers, for instance, why are you bringing your kids to a brewery? That's supposed to be me going in with my boys and just have no, should not be a kid in there. It's a brewery. It's literally they're producing alcohol. What is the kid
Yeah,
going to get
but-
there? Fucking orange juice and pretzel bites? Like, it's not
I
a
would say
family. It doesn't
Druthers
need to be family friendly.
specifically Is more restaurant than brewery. They have
I'm
it,
just saying.
but it's more like for show.
I'm just
Say we
saying.
went to the fucking like, I mean, I guess Broadway or something. Like, I don't need to see anyone under the age of 21.
I just I
at
can't
all.
stand it. I'm time out on both of them. I'm
Yeah.
I'm time in
I'll say
like
I'm
in a
timeout.
circumstance. Like, yes, if I go to fucking Jimmy Buffett's, like on the boardwalk, sure, I'm expecting to see families. But if I
Sure.
go in to fucking Luke Bryan's or like,
Yeah.
for instance, a brewery, why the fuck is there a kid in there? Why the fuck is there a dog
Right.
around? Like,
Yep.
what do you think's gonna happen when shit starts flying? What do you think that dog's gonna do? You know what I mean?
Weekend.
So timeout on
Timeout.
both of those. The next one I have is 9 to 5. Just at not workday and whole as a whole, just the 9 to 5 workday.
Timeout.
I'm out.
I think that has to be one of the worst time frames to work.
Oh
Yep.
God,
I work 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, bro. Like, this is my life, right? And
I'd kill for a 6 to 2. That might be a hot take.
dude, like, I would love a 7 to 3. An 8 to 4
Yeah,
Sure.
even.
true.
8 to 4 would be fine.
I work 8 to 4 and it's okay, but like
If I start at 9,
prefer
I don't want to take a
3
lunch break. Like, cause what?
at noon.
Yeah, like I don't want that. I would rather go in early, get out early, and have my whole afternoon. Or because granted, I'm a morning person. I just get right up. I don't like to linger around a lot. But if I have to be to work at 10, 11 o'clock, my whole day's gone. Like, I got nothing.
Yeah,
The-
your day's
like,
shot.
closing, like, for instance, TJ, obviously you work in retail. Like, when I worked in retail and I had to work 11 to 8, like, what a shit shift, man.
Yeah, like my
Terrible. Like,
Saturdays, it's a 12 to 9:30 typically, which is
Oh,
whole day
terrible.
gone.
So I'm all the way out on 9 to 5s, man. All the way.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm also out.
The next one we got is DoorDash. Time in or time out. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all of them. Fuck Instacart,
I'm
probably.
in. I'm in, especially at work.
Mm.
I'll say time out unless you are like physically unable to get food. Like,
I'm just
say
like,
you're either hammered or 100 years old, then it
Exactly.
would be time in.
yeah, like
But
in the instance of Instacart, I can understand like for circumstances, but on the overall grand scheme of things, who the
time.
fuck is ringing my doorbell at 5:30 on a Sunday afternoon? Someone just rang my doorbell. My dogs are just barking.
The dude who's gonna cut your bush.
Oh no, he called me outside yesterday. I was moving the Magnum, and as I'm crawling over the fucking seat because it's parked in our garage. I'm crawling over the seat to get out. He's like,
Sure.
"Need your hedges trimmed?" And I was like, "No, man, no, because you charge us $40 to trim our one hedge. Like, Haley paid him one time, and he just comes by every month now." Anyways, the reason why I'm out on DoorDash is because if I want to order, for instance, a taco from Taco Bell, and say I just want like 3 soft tacos, I just need something to get me through the day, a little power through, a little protein mix.
Sure.
Why is it $12? Tacos are $2.25 a piece, or whatever the fuck. So now I'm at $8, so an already overpriced set of 3 tacos. And then even if you pay for Dash Pass, there's some type of fee.
Yeah.
So now I'm into Taco Bell, 3 tacos and a fucking Mountain Dew for $30. You don't even think about DoorDashing a fucking sandwich place, bro. DoorDash a fucking full 12-inch sub from Subway, bro. Let me know how much it costs you. $30.
16.
Like it's literally $16.99 plus your fees
Just for
plus
the
a
sub.
tip, $30 just for the sub.
Yep. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Just the convenience of it all.
Fuck you, convenience. I still gotta wait.
I'm just saying.
And then it's gonna be gross by the time it's there.
Yeah.
The convenience.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I like, unless you're physically unable, I'd say timeout.
Yeah. I miss
it's
being home and just having to
saved
go to
my ass
McDonald's.
a couple times.
Like, I love me some getting out of the house, going to the gas station and shit. That being said, the next one that we have, gas stations. And I don't mean like Buc-ee's or like, fucking just.
The big dogs?
Yeah, I don't mean full chain. I don't mean 7-Eleven. I mean like Stewart's,
like
fucking fueling food.
and shit.
Like Stewart's is a stretch, but like you can't, Stewart's is really good. But I love me a gas station, man.
You're talking just a little mom and pop shop.
Pop in, especially like we went to Publix yesterday. We got some subs from Pubby's for lunch, and they also have like chicken and like fucking like potato wedges and mac and cheese and shit over there by the deli. And I was like, man, I wish we had like a fueling food around here because like the gas stations that sell food down here, it's fried chicken, Hunt's Brothers Pizza, and fucking potato wedges. And I'm time in on that. I can appreciate it, but I want fucking like Mac salad. I want to pull up and get like some fucking meatballs or something. Like,
I'll tell you what, nah.
No.
I'm
Hell
not
yeah.
walking into a gas station. Mac salad.
Fueling food, 100%, bro.
That's fine, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I'm not pulling up to Racetrack and getting like the pre-packaged sealed ones. No, I want to pull up and you walk into the gas station and they got the little fucking deli thing there and you see the fucking vat of mashed potatoes. You're like, yeah, let me get a fucking fresh scoop of that, Rhonda. Like,
depends on where it is.
Yeah, I would say time in, probably.
Full time in, man. Love that shit. Love that shit. The last one that I have for today, and it's ironic because today is obviously Sunday, but Sundays as a whole.
Time in.
Time out?
Why?
The whole day feels like preparation for Monday?
Nah, man, I fucking love Sundays.
Yeah, I like
I
Sundays
I
too.
fucking love Sundays because like we try to do everything on Saturdays and like even when we plan shit, like we're usually relaxing on Sundays. And
Yep.
like, man, we have been slammed today. We've been cleaning the house, getting ready for Haley's whole family to be here. Haley's been cleaning the sofa for basically fucking 6 weeks. And like, we have this like little shark hydrovac thing. I don't know. It's like
Hmm.
a fucking electric mop. But like, I did all the floors, I
Yep.
did the rug, fucking. I was cooking this morning, right? And like, still, I'm like, man, what a good day. What a Sunday, you know? Just about to
Yeah.
go record the
Yep.
pod, relax. It's 115 degrees outside. I'm not doing anything. Ah, I love a good Sunday, man. Full
Yep.
time in. Full time in. It's hard to have a bad Sunday.
If it's football time of the year, time in for sure.
Like,
Word.
what? I couldn't tell you the last time I had a bad Sunday, man. When was the last time you had a bad Sunday? Real shit.
Last Sunday when I was at work.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, you can't count that.
You have Sundays off. I
That's
don't.
what I mean.
So
Like,
it's
you
not
you
the
can't.
same mental thought.
Yeah, but it's still Sunday, man. Like,
So I'm gonna say timeout because Sunday is my absolute worst fucking day to work.
I'm full time, man. I think it has to be.
too.
That concludes this section of Time In or Time Out. If you guys will enjoy this section of the podcast or own a small business, we'd love to talk to you and have you sponsor this portion of the podcast, give you guys some free publicity. We'd love to
Oh, let
work
me do
with.
one more. I got one off the top of the dome.
Oh, okay.
Ski.
Okay.
Fantasy football auto drafting.
Time Out.
An
Hill.
answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hill's not gonna have an answer to that.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's okay.
But just because.
Speaking of that, we have our 16 team league tonight. Just remember that. That's in 2.5 hours. We'll be doing that till fucking midnight.
Forever. Yeah, that's gonna be.
We have a 16 team fantasy league football. I know you and Riley could give
16 people.
two fucks less about that. Normal fantasy
Yeah.
league is like 8 to 10. We have 16.
Yeah, why
So that means like by
16?
the time you get like, well, because it's fun. You
All
get like
knowledge.
to 11, 12 people or the 11th or 12th round. You're drafting bums. You're drafting the guy that's warming up in the fucking
picking-
stands, right? You're drafting the guy in the rafters swinging the towel around by that point. And
All right.
We're drafting each other.
like it's a good time, but
Yeah.
if you auto draft is fine, right? If you like actually log on and go to auto draft, it just means it's going to select the best person available, right? Like doesn't matter what position, right? The problem with auto draft is the people that go on auto draft that come in and come out, so it cancels the auto draft, so their entire pick takes 2 minutes. Like it just you're just sitting there waiting for him to pick, man. Like you either got to be
the top person.
Yeah, you either got to be in the shit, like doing it, or just let it ride.
Yep.
Let it ride. Trust the process.
You
because
gotta commit to it or don't, man.
It's
you
fucking
can't be
terrible.
Half in, half out. But yeah, sorry to
You're good.
You're good. Toss that in there, but.
When I was setting up the questions for today, I was very intrigued on how a lot of these conversations would go. When I set up questions for a guest, obviously I like to know who they are, certain things about them, and I always send the guest the questions. But I always try to find like an underlying theme. Today, that being between risk, love, family, and a little bit of mix of hatred. But I would say that falls under love. What's something that we talked about today that maybe altered your view? Because again, you took notes. Like when I send these questions, you obviously try to formulate answers that will result in either a conversation or how you want to respond to them. What's one thing that maybe altered your view or altered one of your answers that you gave here today?
I don't think anything altered like my answers or my view. I guess it's just more or less certain things that I said that like you agreed to. Not necessarily that I was shocked about, but yeah, I got shocked about.
Okay, what's one of those
That
things?
Like the risk thing and like the uncertainty.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Yeah.
You gotta finish that thought.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, okay. I think it's very interesting because I'm sure people watching this are like, you guys saw me like perk up, obviously, when you said like being comfortable with uncertainty, like, or being uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Is like, it was a full circle moment from last week because I had that question written down for later. Like, uncertainty is obviously a big challenge, and we need to be comfortable with it most of the time or sometimes.
Mhm.
So when you said that, it was like, yes, Hill, you get it, you understand. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it was like I said, a full circle moment. Now we always ask our podcast guests to pose a question for the next guest to answer, and then we also answer the question. Last week obviously was pretty important. Being Riley, your husband, and my brother-in-law, his question for you was, what is one thing that you could change today to feel more successful?
My answer is my career.
Okay.
Just doing something more, rewarding, not only for myself, but for others.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And
Uh,
obviously, what?
Go ahead.
Um, I guess I just think back, like, am I too old to go back to school?
I don't
And
think
I
so.
have to tell myself, I have to tell myself, no, I'm not. Um, I
I took
have some
classes
ideas.
with 50-year-olds
Yeah.
at
I
Adirondack,
know.
so I'll tell you what. No, you're definitely not.
Um, and like my other thought process to that is like, do I want to start over at 34 years old?
So that's
Um,
that's that's the
I,
thing. Is like, I don't think you have to start over in order to go to college. Obviously, it feels that way. But I think that's the wrong outlook, right? Um,
yeah,
because it's not a start over. Like, you're still going to have your current career. It's just finding the time to do college and do those things. And it's one of those
right.
red lights or instances that you can force a risk and be okay, because no matter what, you still have what you're currently doing. And if, say, you
Yeah.
fucking fail out of that class or whatever, or you end up saying like, okay, after 2 semesters, this is not what I want to do. And I
Hmm.
think that's the problem. I mean, just looking at like, I mean, what you've went to school for in the past, or like what Sean has went to school for, isn't something that you guys really fell in love with for the long haul, right?
Right.
For long term. And
Hmm.
in part because, young people make decisions on what they think they're going to love and don't. Like, I went to school for sports management. I love it, but it's a career that I'm probably never going to have, and I realize that now. When I could have went to school for automotive and hated my life. But it
Right.
would have been a great paying job, and I probably would have been better off for it. I probably never would have moved to Tennessee. Me and Haley probably would have had a different aspect or outlook on life from everything, because I would have been done with college in 18 months. She would have went to Canton or somewhere else and got a different degree. And um it's it's the wrong outlook to have, like, I'm going to start over, because I don't think that's what it is in this instance. it's
Right.
it's taking a risk that ultimately, regardless, should work out for you. There's a lot of
The
reward in
Right.
that
sidestep.
risk. Yeah. Yeah, I think it could work out. I don't think you're too old to go to school or anything like that. But I do think you're right. Like, career change, obviously that could be an answer for everybody. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know that I can't answer this question because I don't know the full details of, your job or occupation, or like what you do in your day to day. But like, is your job the most rewarding? Like, do you feel rewarded when you come home from work?
No.
Okay, well, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that was.
I feel like that's your answer then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
there you
thought
go.
there was
There you
going to be
go.
some deliberation there. But yeah, I
No.
mean,
No.
what would you want to go to school for?
uh, Massage therapy.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Give Riley happy ending. Gotcha. I
Sure.
get it. I
Long,
get it.
long time.
I know for a fact he's fucking made that joke, bro. You can't tell me he hasn't.
I had to have at
You
least
What?
one. If he hasn't, he's going to.
yeah, dude. You know damn well he's made that joke.
Wait till he hears this
Oh yeah,
fucking
you
thing.
want to get a massage therapy? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh
you
my.
definitely should, babe.
Heard the episode.
Yeah, heard
God.
heard the episode. Yeah, no, I'm for it, man. How much was
Love the brand.
how much was the semester cost again? Fucking
Yeah.
fanning out his cash.
What is it per session?
For me, I think the one thing that I would change um today in order to make myself more successful is uh trying to find the drive that I had for content creation when I first moved here. Um, because now my content's so much better. Like, what I do, I mean, even the podcast, like how I speak, how I ask questions, I feel like is a lot better. Um, but when I do make content, I mean, from the thumbnail to the finish of the video is just so much better. It's just I have no drive to do it because I've done it for so long with no reward, right? So
Yeah.
finding the time and effort because I mean the sports docuseries videos that I used to make, I mean, I would do those for 8 to 10 hours, like write a script, get all the information, then record it, then have to edit everything together. Or um like for instance, the golf videos, like that's a day of golfing, 4 or 5 hours of recording, and then it's another 16 hours of editing, like just me. I don't have like a team, right? And just
Right.
finding the drive to want to put out that content. I wish that's one thing that I would change today that would make me feel more successful. What about you, TJ?
Yeah.
Um, the more I think about it, I guess I don't necessarily have like one, but I guess like financial habits.
Mm-hmm.
Like I catch myself trying to find the like what's a good way to put it? Like the quick satisfaction from it.
Yeah, a little
Spending like,
serotonin.
yeah, and and then all of a sudden I'm like fuck, and then I stress out about not having money, and it feels like a cycle that I can't ever get out of.
Yeah,
So I would say learning how to handle that better I would say just put me in the right direction towards it.
yeah,
Not
I
even
got you.
necessarily change anything.
Yeah, I liked all our answers to that question when Riley asked that. I was kind of looking forward to it all week, especially obviously
Yeah.
Riley asking Hill that question is very intriguing
Yeah.
in a lot of aspects. But what is your question for our next guest?
My question is if you could pause time for 1 hour, what would you do?
Oh man,
Mm.
I don't want to wait till next week to answer that.
Atrocities.
Yeah, that's a tough one to wait on. That's a great question.
That is a good one.
Well, do you have anything else for us, Hill? Do you have anything you want to say to the people before we wrap up this episode?
I don't.
All right. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Two
Alrighty.
Kill Time podcast. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. We had a lot of fun this week having you on, Hill, and I appreciate you for stopping by. Of course, the back to back episodes with you and Riley is definitely something that isn't something we ever really planned for, like in the grand scheme
Yeah.
of things. But it I'm glad
Worked
it
out well.
did because it set up back to back really, really bangers of episodes. So, anyways,
Yeah.
appreciate you for coming on. Thank you for all your input and
Definitely.
the interpretations you give on life today. So, anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, as well leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we will see y'all
Yeah.
in the next one.
Peace.